stuck around until the late hours of your Monday night to bring you Lincoln East and Papillion La Vista South action. That game didn't start until about 9:15 p.m. It was a late night for those two gents, and they'll be back out here in a little bit. As the first pitch of the game from Gretna East, who's the home team on the scoreboard today, is a swinging strike to the Gross Catholic leadoff hitter, Robbie Brennan. Brennan gets the start in left field today for the Gross Catholic Cougars. It's no balls and one strike as the man on the mound is Colton Kuhl, and he's quickly ahead 0-2 on Robbie Brennan, the Gross Catholic leadoff hitter. It is a chilly day at the ballpark, as I mentioned. The temperature says it's 48 degrees, but it feels like 41. The wind is howling from left to right as the 0-2 pitch is slapped foul to the left side. We'll do it again at 0-2 to Robbie Brennan. But as I mentioned, the wind is howling. You're going to hear it in our crowd mic, I'm sure, throughout the course of the day. But it's blowing at about 15 to 17 miles per hour from the left field to the right field wall here at Warner Park, as our park faces towards the northeast. And so here on 1-2, it's going to be a ball low and outside, 2-2 to the Gross Catholic leadoff hitter, Robbie Brennan. It's our first of 4 games today. We have 2 Class B matchups and 2 Class A matchups today, as all 4 games today will be elimination matchups. 2 balls, 2 strikes. The pitch from Kuhl is just up and away, 3-2. Good job by Robbie Brennan so far after being down 0-2, fighting a couple of pitches off, and now working it full to 3 balls and 2 strikes. The righty arm of Colton Kuhl against the righty hitter, as the 3-2 is low and outside for a ball 4, and so a leadoff walk for Gross Catholic here in the top of the first inning. I mentioned it, Gross Catholic beat these Gretna East Griffins on Saturday. It was our second game of the day on Saturday in the opening round, and then Gross Catholic advanced to play number 1 Scott and put together a pretty good showing in that one just yesterday. However, Scott Catholic, the number 1 seed in Class B, beat Gross Catholic just 1-0. And so that earned Gross Catholic a spot in today's elimination game, as the first pitch of the at-bat to Mikey Behar is in there for a strike. He showed bunt for a moment and then pulled it back. No real decision to bunt on that one for Mikey Behar. Behar had himself a nice day on Saturday when these two teams played. He was 1 for 3 with a couple of RBI. Hits from the right side, out of the 2-hole for Gross Catholic. Runner at first is Brennan for Gross, as there's nobody out here in the top of the first inning. This second pitch on the 0-1 is going to be a grounder, fielded cleanly by the shortstop. He steps on second for 1, and then an errant throw to first is going to allow Mikey Behar to go from first to second. And so the shortstop, who was actually the starting pitcher on Saturday, Chase Ninneman, he was able to field it cleanly at second, step on the bag for 1, and then he had plenty of time. The runner, Mikey Behar, wasn't even 45 feet halfway to the first base bag, and he still airmailed it over the first baseman's head, and Mikey Behar is able to glide into second base. And so instead of nobody on and 2 outs, Gross Catholic now has a runner on second and 1 out. And that will lead and pave the way for the 3-hole hitter, Andrew Johannick. So Behar reaches on the fielder's choice and then advances to second on the throwing error. First pitch of the at-bat to Johannick is low out of the zone. 1-0. So you talk about making a pitch. If you're a Gretna East pitcher, Colton Kuhl, you did that. Had a chance to get an easy tailor-made double play and unable to do so after an errant throw. Now, once again, the conditions are not necessarily favorable for, I should say, hitting or really throwing a baseball today. It's chilly out there. It's chilly down there on the field. A lot of blankets, a lot of folks bundled up here at Warner Park. 2 balls, no strikes here to the lefty hitter, Andrew Johannick. The pitch grounded to the right side, just foul. Our home plate umpire today is Kyler Lamb. First base umpire, Chris Sintek. Second base, Barry Bickmeyer. Barry is our crew chief today out there at second base. And then at third base, it is Nate Williams. Kyler Lamb, though, calling the balls and strikes behind the dish. 2 balls, 1 strike, 1 out here in the top of the first inning. No score between Gross Catholic and Gretna East. Colton Kuhl comes set, delivers, and the 2-1 is low, scooped by the backstop, and it's going to be 3 balls and 1 strike now to Andrew Johanic. Our first game of the day yesterday saw a little bit of extracurricular. We had an ejection. Omaha West Side had a coach that I was surprised did not get tossed, as the 3-1 pitch is over the heart of the plate for a strike 3-2. No swing, no attempt at it by Johanic. And so we saw some extracurricular and some fireworks in that first game. The rest of the day was pretty routine, though, other than the weather. And it doesn't look like rain is in the forecast for today. Just chilly weather and cloudy skies and a little bit of wind. As the flags in right center field here at Warner blow directly out to right field. 3 balls, 2 strikes. The pitch to Johanic is just outside, barely missed. And some chirping going on from the Gretna East dugout as they now put another runner aboard via free pass, and it's going to be runners on first and second with 1 out after the base on balls. So now that brings Logan Legner to the plate. Legner starting at third base today for the Gross Catholic Krugers. Legner started at third on Saturday, went 1 for 4. He struck out once, but he also crossed home plate 1 time as well. Runners on first and second. First pitch swung on and missed. It's 0-1. Obviously a late night for some teams last night, as they did a rolling schedule, but at both here and Fricky Field, they only got through 3 games without delays. The fourth game at each location got heavily impacted and didn't start till after 9 p.m. Central Time last night. So a couple of those teams, and that's where the benefit, as it's 1-1 to Legner, and Colton Kuhl will come set. Benefit of winning yesterday is you got today off. Here's the pitch on 1-1. Swung on and fouled off over our right shoulder, and it's 1-2. Because there's teams like, obviously, Lincoln East in Class A, but Scott Catholic doesn't have to play today. Elkhorn North doesn't have to play today. Lincoln East and Millard North. Those are the 4 teams in Class A and B that get today off and will have to be beaten twice in order to avoid having a berth in Friday's state championship games. Everybody gets Thursday off, as this pitch is on 1-2, fouled off to the right side again. We'll do it at 1-2 as it hits off the suites and comes back towards the student section. And so I'm sure as those guys stepped outside today, they are happy that they didn't have to play. Tomorrow and the rest of the week looks to be a little bit better. 1 ball, 2 strikes, 1 out here in the top of the first inning. 2 runners on for Gross Catholic as this breaking ball lined through the right side. It's for a base hit. Rounding third and being sent home will be the lead runner. They're going to throw it to third, and Gross Catholic is on the board first. They lead it 1-0 on the RBI single by Logan Legner. A nice job there by Logan Legner, taking a 2-strike fastball outside and driving it through just past the second baseman and into right field. They did not even contest the runner at home, and they said we'd rather keep runners at first and second base respectively and try to attack the 5-hole hitter Maddox Villamonte. Maddox starting at first base today for Gross Catholic with 1 out here in the top of the first inning. The pitch inside, ball 1. And if you're Colton Kuhl, sure, you've allowed 2 runners on base with a walk. However, you look at how Mikey Behar scored, and it should be 2 outs in this inning and still scoreless. I'll explain that in a moment as Villamonte rolls this one over. It's going to be past the second baseman. Should have made that play. Rounding second, or rather third, is the lead runner, Johanic, and sliding into third is Legner. Working on the backside, base running Maddox Villamonte. He gets to second base, and Gross Catholic adds another one. That looked fairly routine for the Gretna East second baseman, Colton Silman. However, I don't know if that wind kind of pushed it, continued to push it towards the space between the first baseman and the second baseman, or where Silman kind of got topsy-turvy over his shoelaces, but it just did not go into the mitt. And so into right field it goes. But I want to go back to how Gross Catholic has scored, especially that first run. As we talk about, just to kind of go through the situation again, they gave Villamonte a single on that. What kind of goes through the situation there? So Robbie Brennan gets on, the leadoff hitter for Gretna East, on a leadoff walk. Mikey Behar, who is the two-hole hitter for Gross Catholic, has a routine ground ball that was fielded cleanly by the shortstop Ninneman. Ninneman steps on second base for one. He had all day, and that is not an over-exaggeration here. That is, I'm being serious. The base runner, Behar, was not even halfway to first base at the time he threw the ball, had all day to throw it and make that 90-foot throw from second to first. And he airmailed it into the dugout, which allowed Behar to get to second base on a free 90 feet. And on that, he then scores on the next base hit, as this first pitch of the at-bat to Braden Stanek, the designated hitter, is fouled to the right side, 0-1. And so when you talk about what comes back to bite you as a defensive team, it's errors and lapses like that. Behar shouldn't have even been on the bases. And then that ends up that Legner single doesn't score a run if Behar's not on the base paths. Stanek fouls off the 0-1 offering. It's now no balls and 2 strikes with 1 out here in the top of the first inning. 2-0 Gross Catholic out in front of Gretna East. Braden Stanek was the designated hitter on Saturday against Gretna East. He went 0 for 2 with a strikeout and also a sacrifice fly. Has a chance to do another sacrifice fly if he can get something deep enough into the outfield into that blustering wind. The 0-2 offering to Stanek. Breaking ball, almost swung on and missed, but he barely got a piece of that. And it's going to be 0-2 yet again. On the way back to the dugout, Daryl Everhart, the Gretna East head coach, was having a conversation with home plate umpire Kyler Lamb. I think earlier in this inning, there were a couple of pitches that Coach Everhart would have liked for Lamb to call strikes. Here's the 0-2 offering with the infield playing on the cut of the grass. It's a breaking ball that stays up and away for a ball, 1-2. We've seen that quite a bit. Guys chirping the home plate umpire about some strike calls. From our vantage point, directly behind home plate up here in the press box, it seems like it's been pretty consistent, though, as the 1-2 pitch stays up and out for a ball, 2-2. In that time that they had that conference on the mound, they did rush a couple of bodies out to the bullpen. And they're lightly playing catch out there in that center field pen. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 1 out in the top of the first inning. Here's the pitch. Swung on and fouled off to the left side. We'll do it again at 2-2. Runners are at second and third, as Legner is at third, Villamonte is at second. Stanek, the designated hitter, hits from the left side. He's standing in at that left-handed batter's box to face the right-handed pitcher, Colton Kuhl of the defending champs, Gretna East Griffins. 2-2 pitch. Breaking ball. Same result. 3 balls and 2 strikes, as that one stayed up and away. Kuhl just struggling to put any sort of consistent strikes together. 3 balls, 2 strikes. Need an out here if you're Gretna East. To Stanek, the DH, swung on and missed, and all right on cue, it's a swinging strikeout for Colton Kuhl, and that is out number 2, as that will bring up the catcher, Vinny Cortinas. Cortinas hitting in the 7-hole today. He was actually DH'd for on Saturday. Cortinas at one point did come in as a pinch hitter as he takes strike 1 on the outer part, 0-1. In that pinch hit opportunity, he was 0 for 1. No balls, 1 strike, 2 outs here in the top of the first. The righty throws. This one grounded up the middle. It's going to get through into center field. One run will score, being waved around second. The throw, it one-hops the plate. The tag is good at home. And so Gross Catholic only adds one. Cortinas will get one RBI as the second run, Maddox Villamonte, is thrown out at the plate for out number 3. A nice throw by the Gretna East center fielder, as that was Jensen Albers, delivered it on the one hop to Carson Herman, the Griffins catcher, and the tag was applied for out number 3. But the damage has been done as Legner's run will count. He was the lead runner in that play, and it's going to be an RBI single for Vinny Cortinas, but the inning is over. Gross Catholic scores 3 in the top of the first inning. They were thrown out at the plate to end it on the 8-2 putout. So we go to the bottom of the first inning. Your score, 3-0 Gross Catholic. We'll tell you about the Gross pitcher when we come back here on 93.7 The Ticket.
Attention, Nebraska sports fans. Are you ready to take your skills to the next level? The Army National Guard is looking for leaders who are dedicated, driven, and ready to make a difference. Join up and gain invaluable experience while serving your country with a flexible schedule, competitive benefits, and a chance to build a strong future. Learn more at nationalguard.com/Nebraska. Live here, serve here. The Nebraska Army National Guard. Guard the good life.
At Raising Cane's, we focus on making the most craveable chicken finger meals, getting them right every time. That's why we hand batter every chicken finger, mix every cane sauce, butter every Texas toast, stir every slaw, salt every fry, squeeze every lemon, and brew every ounce. We do this inside every Raising Cane's, every day, because when you do it right, you can taste it in every bite. Raising Cane's chicken fingers, one love.
Back to more of the Class B State Baseball Tournament on 93.7 The Ticket.
It'll be Cooper Capisi on the mound for the Gross Catholic Cougars today, as Capisi, a big, intimidating body, wearing number 44, throws a fastball, changeup, and a slider in his repertoire. Gross Catholic gets 3 runs in the top half of the first inning on 3 hits. They did not leave any runners left on base, as Vinny Cortinas had an RBI single to end the inning, and Gross Catholic head coach Jim Hempel at third base was waving Maddox Villamonte around third, and he was thrown out at the plate on a great throw by the center fielder Jensen Albers. So now Gretna East, who is the defending Class B state champion, they will go to bat first here in the bottom of the first inning, and leading us off for Gretna East, Kaysen Brown, the starting third baseman. It's from the right side against the right-handed pitcher Cooper Capisi. The first pitch is going to be a ball in the dirt, 1-0. Kaysen Brown on Saturday walked 2 times for Gretna East as he takes ball 2, same exact location, ball in the dirt and outside, 2-0. What I'm noticing just in the first couple of pitches from Cooper Capisi, he doesn't necessarily stride out a whole lot. Doesn't take a long stride as the 2-0, low and outside again, 3-0. And I will say that obviously a lot of guys might not be accustomed to a mound like Warner Park, as the 3-0 offering is down Broadway for a strike, 3-1 rather. Different backdrop. Obviously a lot more seating here than you'll have at Tal, Anderson Field, or Fricky Field, as the 3-1 is going to be grounded to the second baseman, fielded, but now bobbled, and the runner, Kaysen Brown, will be safe. Cooper Capisi looks back in the dugout in disgust and then says some words to his second baseman, and he kind of flipped his glove up and down in frustration that his second baseman made an error. And so the body language apparent already for Cooper Capisi as he induced a leadoff ground ball, but an error over at second base allows Kaysen Brown to reach. And so we'll see if, similar to the way that Gross Catholic was able to convert a Gretna East error into runs, we'll see if Gretna East can do the same now that Gross Catholic has committed an error. Stepping into the plate, it is Carson Herman, the catcher. The first pitch, line back our way. It actually hit the window to our right. How about that? the window that our crowd mic is sitting on, it hit that window. I mean, literally the window that normally Austin Orman looks out of. He would be beside himself right now that he is not here to catch that foul ball. That's all Austin's ever wanted, is to catch a foul ball. If that window was fully open, it would have come into our press box. So it is a foul ball, 0-1. Man, if that window was open, I might have glided over and tried to snag it with one hand myself. No balls, 1 strike to Carson Herman. Runner at first is Kason Brown. The pitch is on the inside corner for a strike, 0-2. That was a slider that didn't have a ton of movement. I think it was designated or hopefully designed by Capisi on the mound to start and kind of work itself out. I think he just kind of lost control of that one. Unfortunately, it kind of worked out for him. The 0-2 pitch from Cooper Capisi as he comes set at the belt. Looks at the runner 3 times, and now Carson Herman calls time at the plate and will reset as Kyler Lamb, the home plate umpire, will call time and walk around and let guys reset. No balls, 2 strikes, nobody out here in the bottom of the first inning. Runner on first for Gretna East as they trail it 3-0. The 0-2 offering from Capisi on the way. Breaking ball, and it hits Carson Herman. And so now we talk about compounding mistakes here in the game of baseball. Kason Brown advances to second on the hit by pitch, and both base runners now have been awarded a bag via a mistake by Gross Catholic, where Kason Brown was on with an error on the second baseman, and then Carson Herman now hit by a pitch. So now it's decision time for head coach Daryl Everhart and the Gretna East Griffins. And I think head coach Jim Hempel is going to come out and talk to the home plate umpire Kyler Lamb to talk about, did he lean into that pitch? But the quick conversation is now over, and the courtesy runner at first base for Carson Herman is going to be number 14. That's Mason Haydock. Haydock, a junior, usually plays outfield if he's playing in the field. Today, he's just doing the courtesy running. Courtesy runners, catcher's best friend. Runners on first and second, nobody out. We'll see if Kobe Modrell, the designated hitter out of the 3 spot, sacrifices his at-bat. He is swinging away, and he flies this one to the right side foul, and it's no balls and 1 strike. I still can't get over, if Austin Orman was here sitting next to me like he will be in our next game, that ball hit square on our window. I can't wait to tell him about it. No balls, 1 strike. Here's the pitch from Capisi. Breaker stays outside for a ball, 1-1. No rolling schedule today, so we'll have longer intermissions in between each game, like it was initially intended for. 1 ball, 1 strike. Here's the pitch from Capisi. It's a slider, low and away. Good stop behind the dish by Cortinas, and it's 2-1. This also just has the making, an elimination game, crappy conditions. It kind of just has the making for this type of action, where a couple of errors, some walks, it's whoever can have the least will probably come away with this victory. I would imagine that this score will not stay 3-0 and the game will not be decided by a 3-0 finish. That is the score right now, though, 3-0. Gross Catholic after they put up 3 runs in the top of the first inning. 3-1 your score, 3-1 your count, 3-0 your score. Here in the bottom of the first inning. Runners from second go. The backside runner does go as well, and both will be safe. It was a worse jump for Haydock at first. I don't think he expected the runner to go from second to third. Kason Brown was able to swipe third, and Haydock on the backside said, okay, well, if you're going to go, I'm going to go. And so the throw to second was where Gross Catholic probably had the best chance. The pitch was called a strike, but now 2 runners in scoring position with nobody out. Modrell, the hitter, designated hitter at the plate. 3-2 pitch. Grounded. It's a swinging bunt back to Capisi, the pitcher. He looks the runner back, and an accurate throw to first is in time for out number 1. So finally, the Gross Catholic Cougars able to get their first out of the inning, as that was a 1-3 on the ground out. That brings up the pitcher, Colton Kuhl. We'll see if Kuhl can help himself out a little bit here. He swings from the right side, 2 runners out there in scoring position at second and third. Cleanup hitter Colton Kuhl. Righty-righty matchup, the pitch from Capisi. Grounder up the middle, that's through for a base hit. 1 run will score. Gretna East is waving Hayduck around third. He's going to score standing, and Gretna East answers with 2 here in the bottom of the first. On an RBI single from the pitcher, Colton Kuhl. Up the middle it goes, and Gretna East is within 1 run here in the bottom of the first inning on their first hit of the game. So a nice job by Colton Kuhl, as he was able to take that first pitch breaking ball that caught a little too much of the plate, and he drove it up the middle for a base knock, and it's now 3-2 Gross Catholic here in the bottom of the first with 1 out, as the first pitch is going to be grounded through the right side, another base hit. This one's Jensen Albers as he swings first pitch. And now Gretna East is once again threatening with runner in scoring position as Colton Kuhl moves up to second. Jensen Albers will occupy first, and with 1 out in the bottom of the first inning, Chase Ninneman steps up to the plate. Ninneman was the one who committed the throwing error that allowed Mikey Behar in the top of the first to come around and score. But before Ninneman can step into the box, we're going to have a conference on the mound. And while they do that, let's step aside 30 seconds. We can all take a breath here on 93.7 The Ticket.
Imagine if the people who work at your bank or neighbors who could help with a home loan.
Congratulations, you're approved.
Or friends who love to shop local.
Have a good one.
At UBT, who you work with matters just as much as what you're working toward.
Hey, thanks for helping.
That's why your money has more than a banker. It has people. Union Bank and Trust. Member FDIC.
Back to more of the Class A State Baseball Tournament on 93.7 The Ticket.
Welcome back into Warner Park as the conference on the mound is about set to expire. Here in the bottom of the first inning, it is 3-2 Gross Catholic on top of Gretna East. Gross scored 3 runs in the top of the first inning. Gretna East has since responded with 2 in the bottom half of the first. Daryl Everhart's got to be happy with the way that his Griffins squad, the defending Class B state champions, have responded in the home half of the first here in this elimination game on the Class B bracket. So Jensen Albers is at first. Colton Kuhl is at second. And stepping into that right-hander batter's box, it is Chase Ninneman. Righty-righty matchup against the pitcher of Gross Catholic, Cooper Capisi. 1 out in the bottom of the first. Here's the first pitch. The at-bat is Ninneman, squared to bunt, but then pulls back and takes a ball 1-0. Mentioned it a few minutes ago, talked about it in the top of the first as well. Gross Catholic able to score some runs off of errors. Gretna East able to score 2 of their runs off of a hit by pitch and an error on the second baseman. Wedged in the middle of this Gretna East response was a ground out by Kobe Madrell back to the pitcher, the designated hitter. 1 ball, no strikes to Chase Ninneman, the shortstop. This one fouled back to the net, 1-1. Ninneman getting the start at shortstop today. Colton Kuhl is normally Gretna East shortstop. However, since Kuhl is on the bump, Ninneman slides over to field that shortstop position today. 1 ball, 1 strike, 1 out. Righty-righty matchup as he squares the bunt again, and it's fouled to the left side on the bunt attempt, and it's 1-2. Ninneman hits from the right side. Ninneman on Friday in the loss to Gross Catholic. He did not hit. He was the pitcher in the opening round loss to Gross Catholic. Didn't have a bad day on the mound by any means. Went 4 innings, allowed 3 hits, and struck out 3. Here's the pitch. Ninneman grounds it left side. It's fielded. Tough play by the third baseman to second for one. On to first, and it is not in time. The foot was off the base as Villamonte had to pull his foot on the arid throw by the second baseman. A smart play by Villamonte to not worry about being anchored to that bag. But moving up on the fielder's choice is Colton Kuhl. And Jensen Albers was out at second base on the 5-4 throw. So 2 outs here as Ninneman reaches on the fielder's choice. He now occupies first base. For Carter Woodson, right-handed batter, hitting 7th in the Gretna East lineup as the Griffins still trail by 1 here in the bottom of the first. The pitch, runner fake to go. Now a back pick at first is not in time, according to first base umpire Chris Sintek. 1 ball, no strike to Carter Woodson in a marathon of a first inning here. Bottom of the first, 3-2 your score. Ninneman leads off of first, now takes 1 retreat step back to the first base bag. Capisi kicks and fires, and he's able to even up the count 1 apiece. So 1 ball, 1 strike, 2 outs here in the bottom of the first inning. 3-2 Gross Catholic out in front by a run. The conversation in the second inning for both sides is going to be which pitcher can come out here and execute a clean inning. 3-2 your score. The pitch from Capisi is up and out of the zone. Cortinas tried to bring it back in, but not a lot of quiet movement behind the plate as he ripped that glove from outside the zone to try to fool the home plate umpire into calling it a strike. And Kyler Lamb said, no, thank you. And so it's 2 balls and 1 strike. Runners at the corners for Gretna East here with 2 outs in the home half of the first. Capisi comes set, and he will fake the pickoff to third. A little bit of chirping from the stands. Fans wanted a balk. That is now a legal play. It used to be to where if you lifted the leg and didn't disengage from the rubber, you had to make a throw. That's not the case anymore. 2 balls, 1 strike. Here's the pitch. Breaking ball upstairs high for a ball, 3-1. 3 balls, 1 strike, 2 outs here in the bottom of the first inning. Ninneman is at first base after he reaches on a fielder's choice. Runner at third is Colton Kuhl. The 3-1 offering from Capisi is a sky-high pop-up into shallow center field. The wind is going to bring this back to the infield, and it's going to drop just behind the second base bag. They're going to bring home another runner as the second runner slides in. Ninneman on his horse all the way around from first base on a shallow pop fly. The 17-mile-an-hour wind blew that ball from routine depth in center field to shallow center field just beyond the cut of the outfield grass. And Gretna East has now taken the lead on a couple of mind-boggling mistakes by the Gross Catholic defense. Off the bat, that ball, as we're directly behind home plate, you could see it. It started actually on the left side of the second base bag, and the wind just continued to not only blow it to the right side of the bag, but also back towards home plate. And Gretna East base runners, nice job being on their horse as they come around to score. And standing at second base is Carter Woodson. And so now that brings up Colton Nicholson, who swings and misses at a first pitch strike, 0-1. 4-3, Gretna East with a 1-run advantage here in the bottom of the first inning. So Kuhl came around, Ninneman all the way around first. Way to be off with the pitch, or on contact rather, with Ninneman. The 0-1 pitch from Capisi. Woodson stands at second base. The pitch, this one, fouled off to the left side. No balls and 2 strikes. Capisi desperately needing to get out of this inning here. No balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs here in the home half of the first inning. Runner at second, tiptoeing, and the pitch. A grounder left side but foul, and we'll do it again at 0-2. Carter Woodson definitely in the mind out there at second base of Cooper Capisi. No balls and 2 strikes to the right-handed hitter, the 8-hole hitter, Carter Nicholson. Nicholson stands in. They're going to pick him off. They got him in a rundown as he was off with first movement, and they tag him out just beyond second base bag, and Carter Woodson is picked off on the pickoff play. So the damage is done. Gretna East is able to respond. They get 4 of their own in the bottom of the first inning. A first inning that combined for 7 runs between the two teams. And as we go to the top of the second, Gretna East leads it 4-3 over the Gross Catholic Cougars here at Warner Park on 93.7 The Ticket.
If you're a homeowner or a business owner, you have a lot of projects, and no one has an unlimited budget or time. Sunbelt Rentals makes all jobs less stressful with no need to purchase large equipment or hire a crew. You can do it yourself with rentals and everything from aerators and power rakes for spring yard work to stump grinders, concrete mixers, tile saws, and more. Check out their inventory in Lincoln, north of Cornhusker Highway on 56th Street, or online at sunbeltrentals.com.
Imagine if the people who work at your bank were neighbors who could help with a home loan,
Congratulations. You're approved.
or friends who love to shop local.
Have a good one.
At UBT, who you work with matters just as much as what you're working toward.
Hey, thanks for helping.
That's why your money has more than a banker. It has people. Union Bank and Trust. Member FDIC.
Back to more of the Class B State Baseball Tournament on 93.7 The Ticket.
Nick Sainert back with you from Warner Park. Rudy Gray's back in our 93.7 The Ticket studios. As a lot of stuff going on today. We will have our usual programming in between each game. And then we have Jake Bachhoven actually about 20 minutes northeast of where I'm at, standing at Charles Schwab Field, bringing Big Ten baseball tournament coverage your way as that starts today. Nebraska doesn't have to play till Friday. What a benefit that is. Here on the first pitch of the top of the second inning, Colton Kuhl, who, when he exited the top of the first, might not have known if he was going to get back out there on the bump. He knew one thing, or was guessing one thing, that he might not have the benefit of pitching with a lead. But how about this? Both things are true, as he's pitching with a 1-run lead in the top of the second inning. But a leadoff single by Cale Bigsberger through the left side puts him at first base, and Gross Catholic is right back in business here with nobody out in the top of the second. So you look at the way Gross Catholic was able to score their 2 runs in the top of the first inning, or rather 2 of their 3 runs in the top of the first inning. 2 of those runs scored because those base runners got on with an error and a walk. 4-3 your score. You're in the top of the second. Gross Catholic trails, but they did get a leadoff single. And now a bunt back to the pitcher. Colton Kuhl flicks over to first in time, and Brandon Hempel does his job. He sacrifices Bigsberger over to second, and in time for the 1-3 putout, out number 1. But as I mentioned on the sacrifice, Bigsberger takes second. So now the lineup will turn over. Robbie Brennan steps into the box. Brennan was the first batter of the game. He got us started with a leadoff walk, and then eventually was out on a force-out play on a ground ball at second base as he swings and misses, and it's 0-1. So a lot of conference baseball tournaments starting today. Former Husker pitcher Jackson Jelkin, who is now at Kentucky, is an ace for the Wildcats down there. He's got a first-round matchup against the Vanderbilt Commodores today. Now, game starts at 1 p.m. No balls, 1 strike here to Colton Kuhl, as that one low and away for a ball. Good stop behind the dish by Herman, and it keeps the runner Bigsberger at second base. 1 ball, 1 strike, 1 out here in the top half of the second inning. Runner at second in scoring position is Cale Bigsberger. Here's the pitch to Robbie Brennan, up and in, almost hit him, 2-1. He dove out of the way of that one. Two balls, one strike, one out here in the top half of the second inning. Righty-righty matchup, the pitch, outside, ball 3. And this is where I talked about having the ability to respond with a clean inning. You can work around the leadoff single, but that's only the case if you can throw strikes, if you're Colton Cool here, or even Cooper Capisi when we get to the bottom of the second. But right now, he's one pitch away from walking him, and he does. So ball 4 to Robbie Brennan, who draws his second walk of the day. And Gross Catholic back in business here in the top of the second inning with runners in first and second base. And stepping into the box, it's Mikey Behar, who grounded hard to the shortstop, Ninneman, last time up. Should have, could have, would have been a double play. But Behar, who was able to swing at a second pitch fastball, has runners on first and second with one out. Righty-righty. Here's the pitch from Cool. It's on the outside part of the zone, 0-1. So obviously, we will have the conclusion of this game on our station today as the 0-1 pitch is lined off to the right side, 0-2. Our second game will stay in Class B for Platte Valley, who lost to Elkhorn North yesterday. They are the 3 seed in the Class B tournament, going up against the 7-seeded Seward Blue Jays, who knocked off Lincoln Standing Bear yesterday. That'll be an elimination game. Then in the afternoon session, we'll turn our attention to Class A, and I'll give you those matchups in a moment. The 0-2 swung on, hit well into right center field by Mikey Behar. That's going to find the gap in some green grass. Behar rounding first. It's bobbled in right field. 1 run will score. They will wave the second runner, Brennan, around third, and Gross Catholic takes a 1-run lead back here in the top of the second inning on an RBI double by Mikey Behar. A nice job, good piece of hitting by Mikey Behar, as that will score Cale Bigsberger from second base. It also scores Robbie Brennan from first base. And just like that, here in the top of the second inning, Gross Catholic takes a 5-4 lead. And they're not done yet, as Mikey Behar trots into scoring position. And before we can continue this top of the second inning, Daryl Everhart is on his way out to the mound. He's making a call to the pen, and we're going to have a new Gretna East pitcher, as Colton Cool's day is done in the top of the second inning. He makes it through an inning and a third. We'll give you the final stat line when we return here on 93.7 The Ticket.
Imagine if the people who work at your bank or neighbors who could help with a home loan,
Congratulations. You're approved.
or friends who love to shop local.
Have a good one.
At UBT, who you work with matters just as much as what you're working toward.
Hey, thanks for helping.
That's why your money has more than a banker. It has people. Union Bank and Trust. Member FDIC.
If you're a homeowner or a business owner, you have a lot of projects, and no one has an unlimited budget or time. Sunbelt Rentals makes all jobs less stressful with no need to purchase large equipment or hire a crew. You can do it yourself with rentals and everything from aerators and power rakes for spring yard work to stump grinders, concrete mixers, tile saws, and more. Check out their inventory in Lincoln, north of Cornhusker Highway on 56th Street, or online at sunbeltrentals.com.
A business's phone is the lifeline to its customers and potential clients. That's why it's so important that you can take calls seamlessly from anywhere, whether you're on the road or in the office. Hamilton Business Technologies can help ensure your phone rings wherever you are. We can equip your headquarters and any of its locations with the right tools for smooth, professional call handling. As the official business IT partner of the Huskers, we know how to keep Nebraska businesses connected. Learn more at hamiltonisbusiness.com.
At Jimmy John's, we don't make sandwiches. We make the sandwich of sandwiches. We use fresh veggies because we don't hate salads. We just feel bad for them. We make our sandwiches exactly how you want because you're the one who's eating it. And we bake bread all day, every day because stale bread isn't bread. It's croutons. Sandwich history is written by the victors. Good thing we have legible handwriting. Jimmy John's, the sandwich of sandwiches. Order pickup or delivery on the app.
Back to more of the Class A State Baseball Tournament on 93.7 The Ticket.
All righty, welcome back into Warner Park as we have a pitching change, but also some defensive changes that we got to notify you of, as there's going to be a lot here, so bear with me as I talk about this. Bryce Shapiro is the new pitcher on the mound for the Gretna East Griffins. He comes in, does not have a single earned run allowed this season, so high leverage guy, front throws from the left side. Colton Kuhl, who was the pitcher, is going to stay in. He will now be the starting shortstop. Chase Ninneman moves over to second base. And I'll tell you the rest of the defensive changes here in just a moment. As I apologize, I misspoke there. Colton Kuhl goes to second base. Ninneman stays at short. And then into right field was the previous second baseman, Colton Sillman. He goes into right field for Nolan Iverson, who was the right fielder previously, but now he's being DH'd for today. As this one roped into right field, and it is fair. It's off the bat of Andrew Johanic. Mikey Behar scores easily, and that is another run here as Gross Catholic extends it to a 6-4 lead. That run does not go on Bryce Shapiro, since that runner was inherited off of Colton Kuhl, and so Colton Kuhl, the book is officially closed on him. And we'll be able to give you the final stat line on him in just a moment. So now Shapiro has a runner on second. As stepping into the box, it's Logan Legner, who had a 2 RBI single back in the top of the first inning. He takes a first pitch called strike, 0-1. One out here in the top of the second. Gross Catholic leads at 6-4. Here's the pitch from Shapiro. Outside, ball 1. One ball, one strike, one out here on a chilly day at Warner Park. 6-4 your score. Here's the pitch from Shapiro. It stays outside, 2-1. Two balls, one strike, one out here in the top of the second inning. Here's the pitch from Shapiro. It stays outside again, 3-1. So this is not what Daryl Everhart wants to see. They already have more movement in the Gretna East bullpen. Guys doing some band work out there in that center field pen, as well as running sprints from one end to the other. 3 balls, 1 strike. Here's the pitch from Shapiro. Swung on and missed. Good job getting it full at 3-2 to Logan Legner, the starting third baseman for the Gross Catholic Cougars. Three balls, 2 strikes, 1 out. Need this one if you're Bryce Shapiro. That's a pop-up. It'll stay in the field of play unless the wind keeps pushing it towards the dugout. The first baseman ranges over to make the play in time is number 4, Colton Nicholson. And so that is a big second out here on the fly out to the first baseman for out number 2. To bring to the plate, Maddox Villamonte. Villamonte had an RBI single back in the first inning. He then was thrown out to end the inning. Here he steps in with a runner at second base and 2 outs. Gross Catholic has taken the lead back. They lead at 6-4 here in the top of the second. The pitch, lefty-lefty matchup, is fouled off to the left side, 0-1. The book is now closed, as I mentioned, on Colton Kuhl. His final stat line, at least for what I have, is he went an inning and a third. He allowed 5 hits. He struck out one Gross Catholic hitter, walked 3 of them, allowed 6 runs, 5 of them earned. Here's the 0-1 to Villamonte, is low and outside for a ball, 1-0 to the lefty hitter Villamonte. Lefty-lefty matchup as Bryce Shapiro throws from that left side, and Villamonte hits from that same side as well. And now Villamonte calls time. Kyler Lamb, the home plate umpire, will finally reward it to him after Villamonte didn't like how long Shapiro was taking to get set. 1 ball, 1 strike as we approach the 11 o'clock hour here at Warner Park. The pitch is swung on and missed. It's 1-2. Shapiro took a little something off of that one as it was floated across the heart of the plate. I'm sure Villamonte's eyes got big seeing that one head his way, but he wasn't able to stay back long enough. 1 ball, 2 strikes, 2 outs here in the top of the second inning. Villamonte calls time. He never was awarded it, but Shapiro ends up stepping off the rubber and giving it to himself. The 1-2 offering to Villamonte. Swung on and staying alive is Maddox Villamonte as that foul ball bounces off the top of the dugout. Villamonte hasn't looked comfortable this at bat. I don't know if the timing from Shapiro is throwing him off. I don't know if he doesn't like how long Shapiro is taking in between pitches to come set or get the signal. But Villamonte is in there ready to go, and Shapiro's just saying, I'll take my sweet time. The 1-2 pitch with 2 outs in the top of the second. The pitch is just outside, 2-2. Herman behind the plate popped up quickly like he was going to backpick the runner at second, Johanic. However, I think if he would have stayed in his stance and maybe sold that call a little bit more, Kyler Lamb, the home plate umpire, might have given it to him. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. The pitch. It's a high fly ball into left field. The wind will push this into the field of play. The left fielder races over, makes the catch for out number 3. So for the most part, Bryce Shapiro comes in and is able to avoid further damage. He did allow a double to the first batter he faced, but he is stranded at second base. Omaha Gross does add 3 more in the second inning, and they take the lead again, 6-4. Cooper Capisi back on the mound for Gross Catholic. When we return in the bottom of the second, it'll be hitters 8, 9, and 1 for Gretna East in the home half of the second inning on 93.7 The Ticket.
Attention, Nebraska sports fans. Are you ready to take your skills to the next level? The Army National Guard is looking for leaders who are dedicated, driven, and ready to make a difference. Join up and gain invaluable experience while serving your country with a flexible schedule, competitive benefits, and a chance to build a strong future. Learn more at nationalguard.com/Nebraska. Live here, serve here. The Nebraska Army National Guard. Guard the good life.
Back to more of the Class B State Baseball Tournament on 93.7 The Ticket.
It has taken 53 minutes of real time to complete an inning and a half. We've had some pretty good pace throughout this state tournament. Today, we might be here a while as both teams so far want to score runs, and pitchers are struggling here in these tough conditions. It is 6-4 Gross Catholic as we go to the bottom of the second inning. Now, can Cooper Capisi do something that Colton Kuhl was unable to do, and that's put up a clean one? As the first pitch of the at-bat to Colton Nicholson is a ball 1-0. Nicholson is probably happy that he gets a fresh count here. The runner at second to end the first inning for Gretna East was picked off in a rundown to end that first inning. At that time, Colton Nicholson had 2 strikes on him. Here it's 1 ball, 1 strike. The pitch from Capisi stays low and out of the zone for a ball, 2-1. 2 balls, 1 strike. Here's the pitch. It's a foul ball, back to the screen, 2-2. I got to give Kyler Lamb, the home plate umpire, some props here because you look around the other 3 umpires, the first base umpire, Chris Sintek, at second base, Barry Bickmeyer, and at third, Nate Williams. All of those guys are bundled up as this one roped foul to the left side. We'll do it again at 2-2. But you look behind the plate, and Kyler Lamb has no jacket, has no long sleeves, has no neck or ski mask. As, once again, Nicholson fouls it back to the concourse, 2-2. Kyler Lamb with warm blood today. It feels like 41 degrees right now at Warner Park. 2 balls, 2 strikes, the pitch. It's going to be a shallow pop fly, rushing in. The wind is bringing this one in, and it's going to hold up long enough for the center fielder for Gross Catholic, Cale Bigsberger, to make the catch for out number 1. So nice job. For the first time today, the leadoff batter for either side is retired. Colton Silman, who is now in at right field, steps into that left-handed batter's box. He replaced Nolan Iverson out in right field when they took Colton Kuhl out of the game. Silman started the day at second base, but then when, as I mentioned, they replaced Kuhl on the mound, Silman went out to right field because Colton Kuhl took over at second base. Ball 1, low and inside, 1-1 to Colton Silman, the 9-hole hitter for the Gretna East Griffins. 6-4 your score. Gross Catholic out in front of Gretna East. Capisi on the mound for Gross Catholic. The pitch is going to be lined up the middle. That'll be for a 1-out single for Colton Silman. A nice piece of hitting there by Colton Silman, as now he occupies first base, and the lineup will turn over for the leadoff hitter, Kaysen Brown. Kaysen reached on an error by the second baseman after it was a fairly routine ball hit out to Brandon Hempel at second. Hempel just he fielded it cleanly, but on the transition, bobbled the baseball and dropped it out of his glove. So Kaysen Brown hits from the right side. He's 0 for 1 today. Kaysen did end up coming around to score as part of that 4-run bottom of the first inning for Gretna East. Here's the pitch. First pitch of the at-bat is a breaker that floats across the heart of the plate for a strike, 0-1. No balls, 1 strike, 1 out here in the home half of the second inning. 6-4 is your score. The 0-1 offering from Capisi. Breaking ball swung on and missed by Kaysen Brown. He's quickly down in the count. No balls and 2 strikes. 1 out here in the bottom half of the second. So far, Gross Catholic 6 runs on 6 hits. They've committed 1 error. Gretna East 4 runs on 4 hits, and they've also committed an error. The 0-2 pitch from Capisi is low and out of the zone. Almost got him on the back pick on the throw by Cortinas, but back in safely was Silman over there at first base. So that was ball 1 to Kaysen Brown. 1 ball, 2 strikes, 1 out here in the bottom of the second. The 1-2 pitch from Capisi is low and inside for a ball, 2-2. We saw in our various games yesterday, pitchers doing a good job of trying to at least establish that inside part of the plate. Sometimes the home plate umpires were not favorable to their attempts. As the 2-2 pitch, breaking ball. It's a high fly ball into left field, into the teeth of that wind, though. It's going to hold up, and now dropped by the left fielder. Throwing it to second to try to get the force out, not in time. And another error as Cooper Capisi. We saw the wind really cause some issues there for the left fielder, Robbie Brennan. And Brennan was firmly behind that baseball. He had his glove held up in the air, but as that thing came down, it must have taken a nosedive at the last moment towards home plate, and he was too far behind it, and it dropped out of his glove. And so another error on Gross Catholic allows Kaysen Brown to reach, and moving up to second is Colton Silman. Bringing up to the plate, Carson Herman, the catcher. Righty-righty matchup. The first pitch of the at-bat to Herman. Breaking ball, grounded to the shortstop. Could be 2 if they field it cleanly. To second for 1. On to first in time. A big inning-ending double play for Cooper Capisi as it goes 6-4-3. They got Kaysen Brown out at second and Herman on the backside of that double play. A good turn there by the Gross Catholic defense, and they put up a 0 in the bottom of the second. We go to the top of the third inning. Gross Catholic leads it 6-4 over the Griffins of Gretna East.
At Raising Cane's, we focus on making the most craveable chicken finger
This
meals.
is Lincoln's home for sports talk on the FM dial. Also online at theticketfm.com. On the internet, KNTK FM Firth, 93.7 The Ticket.
the sandwich of sandwiches. We use fresh veggies because we don't hate salads. We just feel bad for them. We make our sandwiches exactly how you want because you're the one who's eating it. And we bake bread all day, every day because stale bread isn't bread. It's croutons. Sandwich history is written by the victors. Good thing we have legible handwriting. Jimmy John's, the sandwich of sandwiches. Order pickup or delivery on the app.
Back to more of the Class B State Baseball Tournament on 93.7 The Ticket.
All right, so a big zero put on the board there by the Gross Catholic defense after an error allowed runners to be at first and second on the first pitch of the at-bat to Carson Herman. He grounded it to the shortstop. He flipped it on to the second baseman for one and on to first for two for a 6-4-3 inning-ending double play. We go to the top of the third inning. The sun is starting to peek through the clouds here at Warner Park. Maybe it warms up a little bit as Gross Catholic leads at 6-4 here in the top of the third inning. Nick Sainert with you from Warner Park. Austin Norman will join me in a short while as he's taking care of some business back in Lincoln. He also had a late night last night as the Lincoln East Papillion La Vista South game did not get started until around 9:15 p.m. And then he and Tristan Gomez had the call on that one. A Lincoln East victory. They were able to score quite a few unanswered runs there. They initially at one point trailed 1-0. Papillion La Vista South scored a run in the top of the first, and then it was all Lincoln East Spartans the rest of the way. We send Gross Catholic back up to the plate. Lefty-lefty matchup as Shapiro is back out there for another inning of relief work in relief of Colton Kuhl. Braden Stanek is the designated hitter. He takes strike one on the outside corner, 0-1. The 0-1 offering is low and outside for a ball, 1-1. And if you're Shapiro here, you got to get out here and just throw strikes. Let your defense work. Guys are standing around quite a bit. The 1-1 pitch is up high for a ball, 2-1. Get on top of hitters, start off with some strikes, and let the rest take care of itself, hopefully. Gross Catholic's done a good job of putting some swings on some balls as this one's popped into on the shallow left side in foul territory. The catcher, Carson Herman, was trying to rush over there, but the third baseman also unable to get there in time. They were all converging near the on-deck circle where the Gretna East on-deck hitter would be standing normally. However, Gross Catholic and the hitter, Braden Stanek, gets a new life as it's 2-2. The wind, you can hear it in our crowd mic. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Nobody out in the top of the third. The pitch from Shapiro is low and away for a ball, 3-2. And so far, the first 2 innings, Gross Catholic has been able to get their leadoff guy on base. We'll see if that's the case here in the third. The 3-2 payoff pitch from Shapiro is grounded to the right side, fielded, and thrown over to first. Colton Kuhl gets it over to Nicholson in time for out number 1. So a nice job by Bryce Shapiro retiring the Gross leadoff hitter here in the top of the third inning. That brings up the 7-hole hitter in the Gross Catholic lineup, Vinny Cortinas. Vinny had a single back in the first inning that scored 1 run, but it also ended the inning because Maddox Villamonte was thrown out at the plate. As Cortinas takes strike 1, 0-1. No balls, 1 strike, 1 out here in the top of the third inning. 6-4, Gross Catholic on top of Gretna East. Here's the pitch from Shapiro. It's skipped to home plate, 1-1. Gross Catholic, 6 runs on 6 hits. They've committed 2 errors. Gretna East, 4 runs on 4 hits. They've committed 1. One ball, 1 strike, 1 out here in the top of the third inning. The pitch from Shapiro is a high fly ball into shallow right center field. The right fielder is going to call off his center fielder. And that was number 22, Colton Silman, who called off the center fielder there, Jensen Albers, for the second out of the inning. F9 on the putout. And that brings up Cale Bigsberger. And I can't believe my eyes. We're one pitch away potentially from a 3-up, 3-down inning in this game. 2 outs in the top of the third inning. Bryce Shapiro has come in and tried to steady the ship for Gretna East. The pitch is on the outer part of the zone, clipped the zone, and it's going to be 0-1. No balls, 1 strike, 2 outs in the top of the third inning. 6-4. Gretna East trails Gross Catholic. Here's the pitch. Swung on and missed again, 0-2. And Bryce Shapiro, who has yet to have an earned run to his tally this season, is 1 strike away from putting up a 0. Shapiro comes set at the belt. Out of the stretch on the 0-2 pitch. Just outside. Herman tried to bring it in and was unable to do so successfully. It's 1-2. 1 ball, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Here's the pitch from Shapiro. It's fouled back our way, and we'll do it again at 1-2. One ball, 2 strikes, 2 outs here in the top of the third inning. The pitch from Shapiro is swung on. It gets away from Herman, the catcher. He's going to have to complete the play to first, and he does so in time. A clean inning on the swinging strikeout to end the inning as Gross Catholic is unable to score and add on to their lead. We go to the bottom of the third. It's 6-4. Gross Catholic leads Gretna East here at Warner Park on 93.7 The Ticket.
If you're a homeowner or a business owner, you have a lot of projects, and no one has an unlimited budget or time. Sunbelt Rentals makes all jobs less stressful with no need to purchase large equipment or hire a crew. You can do it yourself with rentals and everything from aerators and power rakes for spring yard work to stump grinders, concrete mixers, tile saws, and more. Check out their inventory in Lincoln, north of Cornhusker Highway on 56th Street, or online at sunbeltrentals.com.
At Raising Cane's, we focus on making the most craveable chicken finger meals, getting them right every time. That's why we hand batter every chicken finger, mix every cane sauce, butter every Texas toast, stir every slaw, salt every fry, squeeze every lemon, and brew every ounce. We do this inside every Raising Cane's, every day, because when you do it right, you can taste it in every bite. Raising Cane's chicken fingers, one love.
If you've been looking for a reason to fill up your car with E15, how about this? E15
can help you save big at the pump
and save the planet by cutting greenhouse gas emissions.
Any car 2001 or newer is approved. Speaking of good, it's made from corn, which is great for farmers.
As I was saying, if you need a reason to choose E15, there you have them. E15, engine smart, earth kind. Visit chooseE15.com to learn more.
Back to more of the Class B State Baseball Tournament on 93.7 The Ticket.
We start things up in the bottom of the third inning as Gretna East trails 6-4. Starting us off at the plate, it'll be Kobe Modrell, the designated hitter. Cooper Kabisi back out there for his third inning of work as the breaking ball stays inside for a ball. Modrell ahead in the count, 2 balls and 1 strike. Nick Sainert with you here at Warner Park. Rudy Graves back in our 93.7 The Ticket Studios in Lincoln. As this one grounded left side, 2-hopper fielded by the third baseman, thrown over to first in plenty of time for out number 1. All right, so we're starting to settle in here in the third inning. Cooper Capizio, another big reason. Obviously, both pitchers, Colton Kuhl is already out of the game on the Gretna East side, but for Cooper Capizzi, you were able to induce that 6-4-3 double play to end the second inning. Talk about being able to lengthen your outing. I mean, these are two teams that if they want to get to Friday state championship, as Capizzi starts with a first pitch strike to Colton Kuhl, 0-1, they're going to have to beat whoever they play respectively tomorrow. They're going to have to beat them twice ahead of Friday's state championship game. And so you need to try to save as many arms as possible in that bullpen. The 0-1 offering is inside for a ball, 1-1. 6-4. Gross Catholic on top of Gretna East. Here's the pitch from Capizzi. Fastball, inside corner, strike 2. So 1 ball, 2 strikes, 1 out here in the home half of the third inning. Here's the pitch by Capisi. Breaking ball, just missed, low and outside. Capisi thought he might have had Colton Cool down on a backwards K, but home plate umpire says no. The 2-2 pitch out of the windup from Capisi. Fastball grounded left side, just foul into that third base coach's box, fielded by Daryl Everhart, who chucks it to the on-deck circle for them to give to the umpire. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 1 out here in the bottom of the third. The 2-2 offering from Capisi is a fastball, low and in the dirt, 3-2. Colton Cool's done a good job after he started out 0-2 to work it to a full count, 3-2. Can Capisi get a strike? The 3-2 is a high fly ball into shallow left field. The shortstop races back. The shortstop backpedaling, catches it with a basket catch at his belt. It was not pretty, but it counts all the same. A nice job by the Gross Catholic shortstop, Mikey Behar, as he gets out number 2 here in the third. So with 2 outs and nobody on base, that brings up Jensen Albers, the center fielder. Jensen singled back in the first. He then was tagged out on a force play in the first inning. Here's the pitch. Outside for a ball, 1-0. Cooper Capisi trying to establish a fastball. His best pitch so far has been the breaking ball, though. It's kept Gretna East off balance for the most part. The pitch. There's the breaking ball on the outer part of the zone, making me look somewhat smart there, Cooper. Appreciate you. As it's 1-1. So 1 ball, 1 strike, 2 outs here in the home half of the third inning. It's 6-4 Gross Catholic. The pitch. Breaking ball right across the heart of the plate again. It worked from the outside into the middle part of the zone, 1-2. 2 outs in the bottom of the third. It's 6-4 Gross Catholic. Here's the pitch from Capisi on 1-2. Just inside. Might have been a tad high as well, 2-2. So we're even at 2 balls and 2 strikes with 2 outs here in the bottom of the third inning. Here's the pitch by Capisi. Breaking ball, stayed just outside, 3-2. Second consecutive batter that Gretna East has gotten to work a full count. Here it's 3-2, working out of the windup, Cooper Capisi. On 3-2, fastball swung on and missed, and Cooper Capisi showing some energy on his way out off the mound and back to the dugout he goes. He puts up another 0 in the bottom of the third. We go to the top of the fourth inning with your score, Gross Catholic 6, Gretna East 4, here on 93.7 The Ticket.
At Jimmy John's, we don't make sandwiches. We make the sandwich of sandwiches. We use fresh veggies because we don't hate salads. We just feel bad for them. We make our sandwiches exactly how you want because you're the one who's eating it. And we bake bread all day, every day because stale bread isn't bread. It's croutons. Sandwich history is written by the victors. Good thing we have legible handwriting. Jimmy John's, the sandwich of sandwiches. Order pickup or delivery on the app.
Imagine if the people who work at your bank were neighbors who could help with a home loan.
Congratulations. You're approved.
Or friends who love to shop local.
Have a good one.
At UBT, who you work with matters just as much as what you're working toward.
Hey, thanks for helping.
That's why your money has more than a banker. It has people. Union Bank and Trust. Member FDIC.
Back to more of the Class B State Baseball Tournament on 93.7 The Ticket.
Welcome back into Warner Park as we get ready to start the fourth inning. I want to thank our friends at the Nebraska Corn Board, Union Bank and Trust, Sunbelt Rentals, Jimmy John's, the Nebraska Army National Guard, Play It Again Sports, Hamilton Telecommunications, and last but certainly not least, our friends at Raising Cane's Chicken Fingers for their support of high school state baseball broadcasts here on 93.7 The Ticket. As we begin the fourth inning, it is Bryce Shapiro back out there for another inning of work as he starts off with a first pitch strike to Brandon Hempel. The 0-1 pitch is going to be outside for a ball, 1-1. So in the last inning for Gretna East, for Gross Catholic, they went 3 up, 3 down. Bryce Shapiro did a good job as this one's lined off to the right side into the Gross Catholic dugout. Foul, 1-2. Hitters 9, 1, and 2 due up for the Gross Catholic Cougars here in the top of the fourth. One ball, 2 strikes the pitch. Outside for a ball, 2-2. 3 runs in the first, 3 runs in the second, no runs in the third. And here we are in the top of the fourth for Gross Catholic. 6 on the scoreboard in total. Ball 3 on a fastball upstairs, 3-2. We saw the last 2 innings, the last 2 half innings, the last inning in totality, as the 3-2 pitch inside corner called strike 3 as Brandon Hempel goes down on backwards K for out number 1. And as I was just about to say, the importance of the pitcher getting the leadoff batter out and keeping him off the bases. This is a guy that has not been kept off the bases, and it's Robbie Brennan. He does not have an official at-bat yet. He is 0 for 0 with 2 base on balls. Came around to score, though, in the second. Here's the pitch to Brennan. Up and outside for a ball, 1-0. Robbie Brennan, the starting left fielder, made that error in the field a few innings ago. As this one skied high, a mile high, into deep shortstop position, just beyond the cut of the grass, as the shortstop does make the catch for out number 2. So Bryce Shapiro has done a really nice job so far in coming in, and he's retired the last 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 Gross Catholic hitters. Done a really nice job steadying the ship. Nobody on, 2 outs. First pitch of the at-bat to Mikey Behar, who also has not been kept off the bases, is a ball, 1-0. Mikey scored in the first inning after he was allowed on via fielder's choice in an error. There's the 1-0 in there for a strike, 1-1. And then in the second inning, he was the last batter that Colton Kuhl faced. He hit a double, a 1-out double, and then came around to score. Behar grounds this one, fielded by the third baseman, flips it over to his bare hand, and he makes the throw over to first in time for out number 3. So another 3-up, 3-down inning. Bryce Shapiro has retired the last 8 Gross Catholic hitters, and we go to the bottom of the fourth with Gretna East still trailing 6-4 here at Warner Park.
Right now in Lincoln, neighbors are facing hunger and homelessness, and they need our help. Your donation to Matt Talbot Kitchen and Outreach for Give to Lincoln Day helps provide nutritious meals, safe shelter, and life-changing support. Your gift goes even further thanks to matching funds from the Lincoln Community Foundation. Working together, we can make our community stronger by ensuring that everyone has access to nutritious food and a safe place to sleep at night. Give to Matt Talbot today or anytime through May 28th at givetolincoln.com.
If you've been looking for a reason to fill up your car with E15, how about this? E15
can help you save big at the pump
and save the planet by cutting greenhouse gas emissions.
Any car 2001 or newer is approved. Speaking of good, it's made from corn, which is great for farmers.
As I was saying, if you need a reason to choose E15, there you have them. E15, engine smart, earth kind. Visit chooseE15.com to learn more.
Back to more of the Class B State Baseball Tournament on 93.7 The Ticket.
Nick Sander back with you from Warner Park in Papillion as we have had a couple of zeros put up by both sides. 3 runs in the top of the first for Gross, 3 runs in the top of the second for the Cougars, 4 runs in the bottom of the first for Gretna East, and that's where we've kind of settled in at 6-4. Cooper Capisi back out there for another inning of work as he gets first pitch breaker to stay inside. It's a ball, 1-0. Chase Ninneman is the first batter of the bottom of the fourth for Gretna East as the Griffins still trail by 2. Here's the 1-0. Just inside, 2-0. Cooper Capisi trying to establish that inner part of the plate. Hasn't been able to so far in this at-bat. This is where he's missed both sides, or both times, rather. Excuse me. The 2-0 is a fastball, low, 3-0. Gretna East trying to have some energy injected into that dugout here. The 3-0 offering is coming momentarily from Cooper Capisi. Here's the pitch. And it's down Broadway for a strike, 3-1. Chase Ninneman reached on a fielder's choice back in the first inning. He came around to score. Here's the pitch from Capisi. It's a ground ball hit well up the middle for a base hit. It's a leadoff single for Chase Ninneman as he now is at first base for Carter Woodson, the starting left fielder. Gretna East trying to get some life injected into that third base side. They trail by 2 right now. This is an elimination game. The winner will advance to tomorrow's matchup, and they will play Scott Catholic, number 1 Scott, who hasn't looked great this state tournament just yet. We saw them have to walk off 8th seed Pius on Saturday, and then they just had a narrow win yesterday, 1-0. The breaking ball to Carter Woodson is in there for a strike, 0-1. Gross Catholic leads it 6-4 over Gretna East. Nobody out here in the bottom of the 4th inning. Here's the pitch. They square to show bunt, and missing the bunt is Carter Woodson. And it's 0-2. No balls, 2 strikes. Nobody out in the bottom of the 4th inning. Ninneman occupies first. Carter Woodson in that right-handed batter's box facing the right-handed pitcher, Cooper Capisi. Here's the 0-2. Breaking ball, grounded left side, past a diving third baseman. And staying at second is going to be Ninneman. He takes an aggressive round around second. Daryl Everhart at the third base coaching box says, hold on, pump the brakes, young man. And Gretna East is in business here in the bottom of the 4th after back-to-back singles. Good piece of hitting there by Carter Woodson, just fighting off the breaking ball that stayed just slightly inside on the hands. Got it off the barrel hard enough to where it was past the diving third baseman for Gross Catholic. But now with runners on first and second, Gross Catholic is going to bring the corners in. As you would imagine, the 8-hole hitter in this lineup, Colton Nicholson, might try to move some guys over and get that tying run over to second. Here's the pitch. He squares to bunt, gets it down. It's going to be fielded by the first baseman, Villamonte. Villamonte will fire it over to first in time, but most importantly for Gretna East, Colton Nicholson does his job. He sacrifices the 2 runners over. That'll be the first out of the inning. And so now Woodson will be at second base, and Ninneman is at third. And just like that, with a Colton Silman at bat looming, it's a base hit away from potentially tying this game for Gretna East as they trail it 6-4. Cooper Capisi still on the mound for Gross Catholic. Here's the pitch from Capisi. A breaking ball swung on and missed. Flailed way out in front of it was Colton Silman. And it's 0-1. No balls, 1 strike, 1 out here in the home half of the 4th inning. 6-4, Gross Catholic leads. Gretna East, though, has the tying run standing out there at second base. Here's the pitch. Up and away for a ball, 1-1. Ninneman got us going as he took a 3-1 fastball up the middle for a leadoff single. And then Carter Woodson had a 2-strike pitch that he fought off down the third baseline for another single. 1 ball, 1 strike. Here's the pitch to Colton Silman. Breaking ball comes back into the heart of the plate. It's going to be a strike. 1-2. 1 ball, 2 strikes, 1 out here in the home half of the 4th. Gretna East 4 runs on 6 hits. They've committed an error. The righty arm of Cooper Capisi against the left-handed batter, Colton Silman. Here's the 2-2. Swung on a soft chopper back to the pitcher by Capisi. It's fielded, and he throws it over to first in time. He looked the runner at third, Ninneman, back to the third base bag. So Ninneman had to stay put, and now with the leadoff hitter, the lineup will turn over. Kaysen Brown comes to the plate after the 1-3 ground out makes it 2 outs here in the bottom of the 4th inning. A great opportunity for Gretna East here in the home half of the 4th might be one pitch away from being a massive blunder. No balls, no strikes. The first pitch of the at-bat to Kason Brown. Here's the pitch. And it's upstairs for a ball, 1-0. Kason Brown had himself a single his last time up. He's also reached on an error. 1 ball, no strike, the pitch. Breaking ball, pitching behind from backwards was Cooper Capisi there. He is unable to get him to flail at a breaker outside. It's going to be 2 balls and no strikes. 2 balls, no strikes, 2 outs here in the bottom of the 4th inning. 2 runners in scoring position for Gretna East, who trail by 2. The pitch is high for a ball, 3-0. Carson Herman stands on deck. He's the catcher who hit into a double play to end the 2nd inning. Gross does have an arm warming in the pen. I would imagine I'd be curious if he walks him, if this is Cooper Capisi's last batter. We'll have to wait another pitch, though, to find out, as it's 3-1 because Capisi was able to throw a fastball down Broadway. 3 balls, 1 strike, 2 outs here in the bottom of the 4th. Capisi comes set at the belt in the stretch. Righty-righty matchup, the 3-1. Breaking ball, fly ball. This might stay in play. It's trending towards the Gross dugout, and it is hauled in by the first baseman, Villamonte. Capisi gives a big fist pump as Kason Brown walks slowly back to the dugout, slams his bat in frustration after the pop out. It is a 0 put on the board by Cooper Capisi, and we go to the top of the 5th with your score 6-4. Gross Catholic in front of the Gretna East Griffins here on the ticket.
Attention, Nebraska sports fans. Are you ready to take your skills to the next level? The Army National Guard is looking for leaders who are dedicated, driven, and ready to make a difference. Join up and gain invaluable experience while serving your country with a flexible schedule, competitive benefits, and a chance to build a strong future. Learn more at nationalguard.com/Nebraska. Live here, serve here. The Nebraska Army National Guard. Guard the good life.
At Cedars, we're here to make sure that kids have the safety and stability that every child deserves, where they're protected and where they feel safe. You make this possible. Today, more than ever, we need your support to be here for kids who have nowhere else to call home. Now through May 28th, make a big impact through Give to Lincoln. Give to Cedars now at givetolincoln.com.
Back to more of the Class B State Baseball Tournament on 93.7 The Ticket.
Welcome back into Warner Park. Nick Sainert with you here on 93.7 The Ticket, theticketfm.com. We go to the top of the 5th inning. Your score still 6-4. Gross Catholic leads it over the Gretna East Griffins, as it'll be hitters 3, 4, and 5 due up in the Gross Catholic 5th inning here. Andrew Johannick is the first one. He is 1 for 1 today with a walk. He also doubled back in the 2nd inning. He was the first hitter that Shapiro faced as he drops down a bunt. It's going to be fair, fielded on the line, and now an error throw up that first baseline. I was surprised that Kason Brown fielded that ball. It looked like it was trending towards the foul territory mark and side of that third base foul line. A great job by Andrew Johannick to drop down a surprise drag bunt down that third base side, and Johannick is now at first base. That is the first time in 9 batters that a Gross Catholic Cougar has reached base safely. Prior to that, Bryce Shapiro had retired all of them. He's now at first base is Johannick. That brings up Logan Legner, the cleanup hitter, as the fastball stays outside for a ball, 1-0. Gretna East in this game, technically the higher seed. The Griffins are the 4, while Gross Catholic is the 5. This is a rematch of the opening round game that we saw on Saturday afternoon, as Legner shows bunt, takes called strike on the outside corner, 1-1. In that game on Friday, Gross was able to get the best of Gretna East. Here so far, Gross leads by 2 as the 1-1 pitch is swung on and missed by Legner. It's now 1-2. Johannek is at first. Logan Legner, the starting third baseman, is in the box. Shapiro kicks and fires and throws a changeup low out of the zone for a ball, 2-2. Legner made a nice play defensively at third base a couple of innings ago, working to his left, fired over to first in time. As he gets ready for the 2-2 offering from Shapiro, it stays upstairs for a ball, 3-2. Gretna East missed out on a big chance there. They had runners at second and third with 1 out and were unable to get anything in the scoring column after a soft chopper back to the pitcher, kept the runner at third and Inneman, and then a pop out in foul territory, that first base side. Put up a 0. Good job by Cooper Capisi, the Gross Catholic pitcher. 3 balls, 2 strikes. Here's the pitch from Shapiro. On the way to Legner. Swung on and missed on an elevated heater. Swung at ball 4. A good pitch there by Bryce Shapiro for out number 1 as he gets Legner down on strikes. That brings up Maddox Villamonte. Villamonte is the first baseman for Gross Catholic who made that catch to end the bottom of the 4th inning just a few moments ago. Villamonte, he singled back in the first. He was eventually thrown out at the plate on a throw by Jensen Albers in center field. And then in his second at-bat in the 2nd inning, he flew out to the left fielder. Lefty-lefty matchup. The first pitch is fouled back to the screen, 0-1. I give a lot of props to both fan sections. Gretna East is showing out. Obviously, it's only about a 12-minute drive to Gretna East High School from here at Warner Park. So I'm sure a lot of the students live in this vicinity. But a lot of folks, a lot of students, I should say, have made the trek from Gretna East High School here on a Tuesday morning. Gross Catholic, good supporters, especially on a chilly day here at Warner Park. Villamonte down in the count, 0-2. Lefty-lefty matchup. Runner at first. The pitch on 0-2 is lined to left side, foul. We'll do it again. Shapiro's done a really nice job coming in, steadying the ship for the Gretna East Griffins, who are wearing their black and gold pinstripe uniforms today. Their bright gold hats. The 0-2 didn't miss by much. It's a fastball. Just missed outside, 1-2. No balls, or rather, 1 ball, 2 strikes, 1 out here in the top half of the 5th inning. Here's the pitch from Shapiro. It's a shallow fly ball. The center fielder, Albers, is racing in, and he makes the catch fairly routine as the runner at first, Johannek, will have to retreat back to the bag. It's an F8 on the scoreboard, and that's out number 2. That brings up Braden Stanek, the designated hitter. Stanek today hitting in the 6th hole for the Gross Catholic Cougars and head coach Jim Hempel. Stanek struck out back in the 1st. He grounded out to the second baseman, Cool, back in the 3rd. Runner at first is Johannek. The first pitch of the at-bat is low and inside. Gets past the catcher. The runner goes. A late throw by Herman. And in there safely is Andrew Johannek. It is going to be a wild pitch. And Stanek is ahead in the count, 1-0. 1 ball, no strikes. Here, 2 outs in the top of the 5th inning. Runner at second is Johannek. The pitch to Stanek. It's a high fly ball into right field. The wind might push this one back a little bit, and the right fielder is unable to haul it in. He drops it. And as I mentioned that right on cue, it was a routine fly ball out to right field. The right fielder, who is now Colton Silman. That was just the second time that a ball has come out to him. The first one was a much more shallow fly ball that was fairly routine. This time, it was hit well off the bat of Stanek. However, the wind just kept pushing and pushing it farther and farther back, and then there was a moment when Silman just started backpedaling and you knew he might not be able to get there. It's an error on the right fielder. And now Stanek is at second. Johanic came around to score. So now that brings up Vinny Cortinas, who takes strike one. The 0-1 offering is swung on and fouled off to the right side. And before we can even blink, Cortinas is down in the count 0-2 to Bryce Shapiro, who that is not an earned run on Shapiro, since that run scored on an error. Now, if you're Shapiro, this is important. Get back. You threw some strikes, 0-2. Get a good bounce back after you should be out of this inning. The 0-2 just outside to the righty hitter. It's ball 1-2. The ability, we saw Cooper Capisi struggle with that in the first inning where he surrendered 4 Gretna East runs. Struggling with your emotions, handling them, keeping them in check. The 1-2 is a fly ball that's going to drop for a base hit. Jensen Albers is going to throw it home. He's throwing out one batter, and does he get the tag? He does not. Gretna East and Carson Herman unable to tag the runner racing around third as Stanek scores from second, and that's a single, and advancing to second on the throw is Vinny Cortinas. It's another RBI for Cortinas. Carson Herman thought that he tagged him. It could have been. It was a very good throw by Jensen Albers as it was slightly up that third base line. The throw and the baseball beat him there. And yet the home plate umpire, Kyler Lamb, says that Herman missed the tag on Stanek. So Stanek comes around to score after he reached base on the error and the misplayed fly ball in right field. Cortinas, with another RBI, advances to second on the throw home. And now it is 8-4 Gross Catholic. Shapiro stepping in, lifts the leg and fires. And it's low and inside for a ball, 1-0. Cale Bigsberger up to bat. He struck out swinging back in the third. 1 ball, no strikes, 2 outs. Here's the pitch. A high pop-up. This one should reach the seats. Directly below us. It almost hit a gentleman down there on the field, or in the bleachers, I should say. Everybody's tucked under blankets. Nobody can get hands out quick enough to field a fly ball. Everybody's bundled up, hands in pockets, hands under blankets, and wedged into the seats. The 1-1 pitch from Shapiro to Bigsberger. Swung on and missed. It's 1-2. And now, yet again, Cale Bigsberger Bryce Shapiro is 1 strike away from getting out of this one. Vinny Cortinas done a good job today. He's got a couple of RBIs on the morning. The 1-2 offering to Bigsberger is outside for a ball, 2-2. Brandon Hempel stands in the on-deck circle for Gross Catholic. Here's the pitch by Shapiro on 2-2. It stays up and out, 3-2. I stand corrected. It appears we might have a pinch hitter. Kyle Rempe is standing in the on-deck circle. Kyle was the pitcher that went 7 innings for Gross Catholic on Saturday's game against the same Gretna East team. The 3-2 is lined through the left side for another base hit. They're going to have to hold up the runner Cortinas at third, but Gross Catholic stays alive in the top of the 5th inning here with another 2-out single. So a nice job by out of the 8 spot, Cale Bigsberger. Put in a good rip on it with 2 strikes, lined it through the left side. And now Kyle Rempe, as I mentioned, is going to come to bat in the spot usually occupied by Brandon Hempel. However, Hempel's had himself a tough day. Hempel struck out looking in his last at-bat in the 4th, and then Hempel is the second baseman that made an error to start the game defensively for Gross Catholic, but to this point, it hasn't come back to hurt them too badly as Gross Catholic leads 8-4. Here's the first pitch to Kyle Rempe, is blocked in the dirt by Herman behind the plate, and it's 1-0. So Rempe's the pinch hitter. 1 ball, no strikes, 2 outs here in the top of the 5th. Here's the pitch. Outside for a ball, 2-0. Standing on deck, the number 1 hitter in the Gross Catholic lineup, Robbie Brennan, as the lineup will turn over for the 4th time here in the top of the 5th if they can get to Robbie Brennan. Rempe takes ball 3 up high. Bryce Shapiro shocked that was a called ball, and it's 3-0 to Kale Rempe. Runners at the corners. 2 outs. The pitch is up and outside for a ball. It's a 4-pitch walk to the pinch hitter. And Bryce Shapiro struggling with command now here in the top of the 5th inning, and it looks like we're going to have a conference on the mound. Daryl Everhart on his way out to the mound. We'll see if he makes a change. They are going to signal to the pen, and we will step aside as well. I'll tell you about the new Gretna East arm when we come back here in the top of the 5th inning.
If you've been looking for a reason to fill up your car with E15, how about this? E15
can help you save big at the pump
and save the planet by cutting greenhouse gas emissions.
Any car 2001 or newer is approved. Speaking of good, it's made from corn, which is great for farmers.
As I was saying, if you need a reason to choose E15, there you have them. E15, engine smart, earth kind. Visit chooseE15.com to learn more.
Imagine if the people who work at your bank or neighbors who could help with a home loan.
Congratulations, you're approved.
Or friends who love to shop local.
Have a good one.
At UBT, who you work with matters just as much as what you're working toward.
Hey, thanks for helping.
That's why your money has more than a banker. It has people. Union Bank and Trust. Member FDIC.
If you're a homeowner or a business owner, you have a lot of projects, and no one has an unlimited budget or time. Sunbelt Rentals makes all jobs less stressful with no need to purchase large equipment or hire a crew. You can do it yourself with rentals and everything from aerators and power rakes for spring yard work to stump grinders, concrete mixers, tile saws, and more. Check out their inventory in Lincoln, north of Cornhusker Highway on 56th Street, or online at sunbeltrentals.com.
Back to more of the Class A State Baseball Tournament on 93.7 The Ticket.
We're back here at Warner Park as Gretna East and head coach Daryl Everhart has made a change. They are going to go to an arm that this Gross Catholic squad saw on Saturday afternoon and bring in number 3, Drew Dowd. Dowd throws from the right side. In relief on Saturday, came in and slammed the door, did a really nice job in relief. He only threw 31 pitches. 21 of those were strikes. He went 2 innings pitched, did not allow a hit, did not allow any earned runs, and did strike out 1 Gross Catholic Cougars. He's inheriting a pretty important spot here. It's 8-4. The bases are loaded, and the top of the order is due up. The lineup turns over to Robbie Brennan as the first pitch is grounded left side but foul, and it's quickly 0-1. Brennan today is 0 for 1. He's been on base twice, though, as he walked both in the first and the second inning. Flew out to the center fielder back in the 4th. The 0-1 offering from Dowd is outside, 1-1. Drew Dowd, D-O-W-D. In and on the bump. Out of the windup, the 1-1 is fouled back to the net. And that's one thing I'll notice and note for you guys listening wherever you may be today. Dowd is quickly getting back up on that rubber and going to work. The 1-2 pitch to Robbie Brennan with the bases loaded and Gretna East trailing by 4. Gross Catholic trying to add one. 1-2. Up high on an elevated heater. 2-2. Nowhere to put him, though, so you got to find some strikes here if you're Drew Dowd. The 2-2 offering is upstairs, 3-2. So now everybody holds on a little bit tighter. 3 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Bases are loaded for Gross Catholic here in the top of the 5th as they lead by 4. The pitch, runners go, and it's low and outside for a ball. And Drew Dowd comes in and walks the first batter he faces, Robbie Brennan. And with that, that allows Cortinas to score from third. And so everybody moves up 90 feet. We play station-to-station baseball, and Mikey Behar stands in. Mikey doubled back in the second inning, came around to score in both the first and the second. Here's the pitch. Down Broadway for a strike, 0-1. No balls, 1 strike, the pitch on 2 outs. As Behar goes, did he swing it? No, he held back enough on the appeal down to first base umpire Chris Sintek. And Chris Sintek over there at first base says he did not go around. 1 ball, 1 strike, 2 outs here in the top of the 5th. The pitch from Dowd is lined foul back to the screen, and it's 1-2. Very similar start to this at-bat that we saw to Robbie Brennan just a moment ago. Dowd did a good job of getting on top of Robbie Brennan, but then Brennan did a nice job of fighting a couple of pitches off, and then watching some close ones go by for ball. The 1-2 offering from Dowd. Swung on, line to the right side as it's slicing foul. That would have cleared the bases if it would have snuck inside that white chalk line down that right field side, but it just continued to slice foul. It's a 5-run lead for Gross Catholic here in the top of the 5th. 9-4 in an elimination game here in the Class A bracket, or Class B bracket, excuse me. Behar grounds this one. Is that one through? It is. It's into center field. 1 run will score. A second runner being waved around third. And Mikey Behar delivers again. It's another 2 RBI, 2-out single for Mikey Behar. And Gross Catholic has broken this one open. It's 11-4 in the top of the 5th. So a nice job there by Mikey Behar, taking what he was given, 2-run score, and it is 11-4 Gross Catholic. As now we have Andrew Johanic, who started off this inning with a single, stepping into the box. The first pitch to Johanic is in there for a strike, 0-1. So Gross Catholic has batted around here in the 5th inning. Runners at the corners. Robbie Brennan at third, Mikey Behar at first. The pitch swung on by Johanic, and it's fouled off to our left side. It got to the concourse, and an error made by a fan in the bleachers. No balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. I don't know if I'd want to try to catch a foul ball with a bare hand today. It's a March game. This feels like a spring baseball type of ball game. No balls, 2 strikes. They're going to get Mikey Behar just to go to second early. They forced Dowd. That's what they call a box steal. So essentially, the runner, when it's on the corners, the runner at first will just take off before the pitcher even starts his motion. He gets into second. The 0-2 pitch, called strike 3, and Johanic goes down on strikes, but in the top of the 5th inning, Gross Catholic scores 5 runs. They leave 2 runners on base, and now Gretna East has their backs up against the wall. They have 9 outs left to get and erase a 7-run deficit and then some. We'll step aside, come back in 60 seconds here on 93.7 The Ticket.
Imagine starting your day with a computer glitch that leaves you feeling stuck, frustrated, and unable to get your work done. You have 1,000,001 things to get done today, and waiting for the tech issue to solve itself isn't one of them. It's time to let Hamilton handle the tech so you don't have to. We help businesses across the state spend more time on what they do best and less time frustrated with office technology. As the official business IT partner of the Huskers, we're focused on providing custom solutions that set you up for success now and in the future. Connect with us today at hamiltonisbusiness.com.
If you've been looking for a reason to fill up your car with E15, how about this? E15
can help you save big at the pump
and save the planet by cutting greenhouse gas emissions.
Any car 2001 or newer is approved. Speaking of good, it's made from corn, which is great for farmers.
As I was saying, if you need a reason to choose E15, there you have them. E15, engine smart, earth kind. Visit chooseE15.com to learn more.
Back to more of the Class B State Baseball Tournament on 93.7 The Ticket.
Welcome back in to Warner Park. Nick Sainert with you. Rudy Gray is back in our 93.7 The Ticket studios, 1040 O Street in downtown Lincoln. As soon as this game's over, we'll send it back to our studios as we get ready for our next game between Platte Valley and Seward. The first pitch of the bottom of the fifth inning is swung on and high pop up to third base side as Legner's there to make the catch for out number one off the bat of Carson Herman. And so Cooper Capisi gets the first batter out on a shallow pop fly for out number one. Capisi did a good job. He retired the last three hitters in that bottom of the fourth inning after allowing the first two guys to reach on back-to-back singles. Capisi goes to work again. This time it's against the three-hole hitter, Kobe Modrell, as he takes ball one inside. Cooper Capisi, that is, asked the home plate umpire, did that miss inside? And home plate umpire looks back and just gives him a nod. The 1-0 is fouled off to the right side, 1-1. Austin Norman will be able to join me for that second game. Austin and I will be on the call then for a Class A matchup later today, another rematch of an opening round game between Millard South and Omaha West Side. Millard South beat the number one Warriors earlier in the tournament and then fell to Millard North yesterday on a run rule, 11-1 loss last night. And then Tristan Gomez and Austin Norman on the call for tonight's nightcap as well. Here's the 1-2. It's swung on, hit well into left field. If that holds up in the wind, it will, and the left fielder races over to make the catch. My goodness, Kobe Modrell hit that one well, but straight into the teeth of the wind. And on any other given day here at the ballpark, if that's not gone, that is down the left field line for extra bases. However, the left fielder was able to be there for the flyout. Out number two to Kobe Modrell. That brings up the cleanup hitter, Colton Kuhl. Started the game on the mound today as he will now take the first pitch breaking ball off his back, and it's hit by pitch, so Colton Kuhl goes down to first base. Jensen Albers now steps in. Jensen on the day is 1 for 2. He singled back in the first and struck out in the third. Here they are in the bottom of the fifth with 2 outs and a runner on first base. Here's the pitch to Albers. Grounded right side foul, 0-1. No balls and 1 strike here, 2 outs in the home half of the fifth. Gross Catholic just broke it open in the top of the fifth with a 5-run inning. As they sky this one left side, it's a shallow pop fly. Left fielder misplays it. And it'll be a throw into second base. It gets away from the second baseman. The right fielder's there to back it up. Now a throw to third. They got him in a rundown. And between second and third, they're racing back and forth. And they finally tag the runner out, Colton Kuhl. And Daryl Everhart has his arms crossed in frustration that Colton Kuhl even decided to test the throw from the right fielder as that ball got past the second baseman from the throw in from left field. And the errors and mistakes and blunders continue to compound here for the Gretna East Griffins. That'll do it for the fifth inning of play. We go to the sixth. Your score 11-4. Gross Catholic out in front by 7 on the Griffins.
Spring Sports are here and it's time to upgrade your equipment. But don't go rushing to your big box store. Play It Again Sports is your place to go for all spring sports equipment for baseball, softball, golf, and disc golf. Play It Again Sports has quality, slightly to gently used equipment, and 50% of their inventory is actually new equipment. And don't forget, buying from them is a great way to get new products with great discounts by also bringing in your used items for store credit or cash on the spot. Play It Again Sports at 48th and Vine.
Hey Lincoln, this summer Bright Lights is hitting a big one, 40 seasons strong. For 40 summers, they've been helping kids learn, build, create, and explore through hands-on STEAM camps. And now you can step up to the plate. Give $40 to celebrate 40 summers during Give to Lincoln Day 2026. Your donation helps provide top-notch camps, amazing instructors, and scholarships so every kid gets a chance to play, to learn, and to grow. If Bright Lights has ever made an impact on your family, this is your moment. Donate today at brightlights.org. Bright Lights, 40 summers in and just getting warmed up.
Back to more of the Class B State Baseball Tournament on 93.7 The Ticket.
Welcome back in. It's the top of the sixth inning. Gretna East desperately needs to put up a 0 here as we have a new arm on the mound for the Gretna East Griffins. It's going to be number 17, Seth Milne. Seth Milne throws from the right side in relief of Drew Dowd. And so matters were made worse there in that bottom of the fifth inning for Gretna East, as they could have had runners on first and second with 2 outs and still the heart of their order due up. Some base running mistakes and being greedy on the base paths results in them ending the inning. And now we have a stoppage in play as the crew chief and the second base umpire, Barry Bickmeyer, they go over to the pitcher. They're checking for some substance on his belt. Oh, I apologize. Nope, they are taking off the hand warmer. The way that they first pulled up and the two umpires looked and said, "Can we see your elbow?" Or like kind of your forearm area. And they were looking at the forearm, and then he lifted up his jersey. From up here, you couldn't tell that he even had the hand warmer on. It blended in with the black and gold pinstripes. First pitch of the at-bat. So I apologize to Milne for saying that they were looking for some substances. They were not. They just didn't let him have a hand warmer on his back. As the 0-1 pitch is in there for a ball, 1-1. Logan Legner leads things off here in the top half of the sixth inning for Gross as he chops this one right side foul. And it'll be 1-2. On a chilly day here at Warner. We are approaching the noon hour. 1 ball, 2 strikes. The pitch. Breaking ball, fouled off to the right side. We'll do it again at 1-2. 1 ball, 2 strikes, nobody out in the top of the sixth. This game will surpass the 2-hour mark here in just a couple of minutes. 2 balls, 2 strikes after that 1-2 offering is low and out of the zone. Top of the sixth inning, 11-4, Gross Catholic. Here's the pitch. Breaking ball, swung on and missed. Good job there. As he's able to come in, that is Seth Milne, that is, and strike out the first Gross Catholic hitter that he sees. Seth Milne, a senior, spent most of the season this year in relief. You look at a couple of the best pitchers ERA-wise on this Gretna East squad, and we just saw Bryce Shapiro, for the first time this year, allowed some earned runs. He came into today's game with an earned run average of 0.00. He allowed a couple today. The 0-1 is a breaking ball outside for a ball, 1-1. Drew Dowd we saw, who is second on the team in earned run average. He came into today's game with a 1.05 earned run average. And the center fielder, Jensen Albers, third on the team in ERA with a 1.17 earned run average. We've seen two of those three pitchers today. Give credit to Gross Catholic because they've done a really good job of making the necessary adjustments. As the 1-2 is swung on and missed, and two batters faced, two strikeouts as Seth Milne gets Maddox Villamonte down on strikes for out number 2 here in the top of the 6th inning. That brings up the designated hitter, Braden Stanek. Stanek reached on an error by the right fielder his last time up. This was really the catalyst for that 5-run 5th inning as he takes a first pitch fastball, grounds it to the shortstop, and over to first in time. 3 up, 3 down as Seth Milne lets the Gross dugout hear it on his way off the mound, but it is still 11-4, Gross Catholic in front by 7. We'll step aside. Bottom of the 6th when we return for Gretna East on 93.7 The Ticket. Your score as we enter the bottom of the 6th inning is 11-4. Gross Catholic on top of the Gretna East Griffins. Gross Catholic, 11 runs on 10 hits. How about this? They've committed 4 errors today. For Gretna East, 4 runs on 6 hits. They've committed 2 errors today. So Cooper Capisi, who you got to give him credit because the way this game started, where Gretna East was able to score 4 runs in the bottom half of the first inning after Gross took a 3-0 lead, you didn't know how long Cooper Capisi was going to be into this game. And he's still here 5 innings later. He's put up 4 consecutive zeros. So a really nice job by Cooper Capisi here as we enter the bottom of the 6th. Let's go ahead and do this. While we have a break in the action, the umpire had to use the restroom. While we have a break in the action, let's pause 10 seconds for station identification on the ticket.
This is Lincoln's home for sports talk on the FM dial. Also online at theticketfm.com.
On the internet.
KNTK FM Firth, 93.7 The Ticket.
With you from Warner Park as we are ready to go in the bottom of the 6th. Here in the bottom of the 6th, Capisi's first pitch is going to be flied to the right side. I think that's going to reach the seats. The wind will push it about 20 rows deep. And it's quickly no balls and 1 strike. Capisi facing Chase Ninneman here to start the bottom of the 6th. Got on top of him, no balls and 1 strike. Hitters 6, 7, and 8 in the Gretna East lineup. As the Griffins of Gretna East, the defending Class B state champions, are down to their last 6 outs, and they trail by 7 runs. The pitch from Capisi is a sky-high pop-up. It stays in the infield, the second baseman, and now the shortstop races all the way over to where the second baseman normally stands, and they just look at each other. The second baseman for Gross Catholic goes, "Really, dude? You just called me off on that?" As that was Brandon Hempel, who was called off on that fly ball. The shortstop, Mikey Behar, looked at him and tapped his chest and said, "Yeah, I probably should have let you have that one." Mikey Behar probably had to run close to 80 feet for that fly ball, but he does make the catch for out number 1. So now that brings up Carter Woodson as he takes ball 1 inside 1-0, and Cooper Capisi back to work at the 1-0 delivery. Is going to be off to the right side. This one is also going to reach the seats. Another foul ball down that right field line. And that evens up the count at 1 ball, 1 strike. 1 out here in the bottom of the 6th inning. 11-4, Gross Catholic leads the Gretna East Griffins. Interestingly enough, Gross Catholic earlier this season, to actually start the season, they played a couple of teams from out of the state. They played a team from Niwot, Colorado, played a team from Chandler, Arizona, and played a team from Mountain Point, Arizona. They beat all three of those teams 6-0, 2-0, and 8-4, respectively. 1-1 pitch is fouled off to the left side, so it's 1 ball and 2 strikes. This is a Gross Catholic team that won their first 17 games of the year. As this one roped into left field, is it going to hang up? It will. It's a line drive out to the left fielder off the bat of Carter Woodson into the teeth of that win for out number 2. So now stepping up to the box, it'll be Colton Nicholson. Nicholson had to sacrifice his at-bat back in the 4th inning. That was kind of where the game turned, in the bottom of the 4th / the top of the 5th. Obviously, you look at the top of the 5th, and Gross Catholic scored 5 runs in that half inning, and certainly that can turn the tide of a game. But this one, back to the net, 0-1. But then you look at what happened in the bottom of the 4th, and this was Gretna East's chance here. They were down just 6-4 at that time, and they got back-to-back singles to start the bottom of the 4th. Then Colton Nicholson here sacrificed his bunt over to move 2 guys over. So the situation was Gretna East had runners at 2nd and 3rd with just 1 out. But then after a swinging bunt back to the pitcher was a ground out, and Kaysen Brown popped out in foul territory, it went for naught. And the opportunity was missed by Gretna East. And then in the next half inning for Gross Catholic, they put up a 5 spot. It's part of one of the things that you can probably look back on and say, yeah, if you get those 2 runs to score, it's 6-6. Who knows how the top of the 5th goes? But after a while, just a little deflating for the Gretna East Griffins. The 2-1 offering here to Nicholson. It's nubbed off the end of the bat, fielded by the first baseman. He calls his pitcher off, and we go to the top of the 7th inning with your score, 11-4. Gross Catholic on top of the Gretna East Griffins here. It's all Cougars in this one as we go to the last inning of regulation. We'll be right back on 93.7 The Ticket.
If you're a homeowner or a business owner, you have a lot of projects, and no one has an unlimited budget or time. Sunbelt Rentals makes all jobs less stressful with no need to purchase large equipment or hire a crew. You can do it yourself with rentals and everything from aerators and power rakes for spring yard work to stump grinders, concrete mixers, tile saws, and more. Check out their inventory in Lincoln, north of Cornhusker Highway on 56th Street, or online at sunbeltrentals.com.
Hi, Husker Nation. This is Rex Burkhead. On Lincoln Gives Day, I hope you'll join me in supporting the Team Jack Foundation and their mission to fund life-saving childhood brain cancer research. Kids and families facing brain cancer deserve better treatments and more hope for the future. Every donation helps move that mission forward. You can make your gift today by visiting givetolincoln.com and searching Team Jack. I'm proud to support the Team Jack Foundation and the fight for every child and family affected by brain cancer.
If one of the things running through your mind as a business owner is the recurring worry of possible cyber attacks, you can let out a sigh of relief. Hamilton Business Technologies has you covered. As the official business IT partner of the Huskers, we offer real-time threat monitoring, advanced security protocols, and more to keep your data safe from harm. We care about the success of Nebraska businesses and communities like yours. Learn how we can help you at hamiltonisbusiness.com.
Back to more of the Class B State Baseball Tournament on 93.7 The Ticket.
We go to the top of the 7th inning. Gross Catholic leads at 11-4. Here in the top of the 7th, another inning for Seth Milne on the mound. Or now, correction, a new arm is now in there, as it is number 19, Mason Fairbairn. So Mason Fairbairn comes in to replace Seth Milne. Milne threw 3 outs in that 6th inning, faced the minimum 3 batters, struck out 2, got a ground out as well. And now here is Fairbairn, the senior, as he gets a swinging strike on the first pitch of his outing to Vinny Cortines. So nice move here by head coach Daryl Everhart, getting a couple of seniors the rock, letting them throw. here at Warner Park in an elimination game as the 0-1 is up and away for a ball, 1-1. 1 ball, 1 strike, nobody out here in the top of the 7th inning. The 1-1 offering by Fairbairn is low, 2-1. So if barring a 8-run comeback in the bottom of the 7th inning, Gross Catholic will advance to tomorrow morning's matchup against the Skutt Catholic Skyhawks. We will not see Class B action after today until Friday. Tomorrow, the way that the games are laid out is, since there will be a team that has to be beaten twice. This one's roped out to left field down for a base hit by Vinny Cortinas, who's had himself a really nice day. But what I was going to say is the way that tomorrow on Wednesday is kind of laid out, it's kind of a wait and see thing of how many games we have. We know for sure we'll have 2. One at 10 a.m. and one at 4 p.m. But we just don't know if there'll be a game after each of those. And that's because tomorrow, hypothetically speaking, if Gross Catholic, they'll play number 1 Skutt. If Skutt Catholic wins that 10 a.m. game, then there won't be a second game, and Skutt Catholic will punch their ticket to the state championship on Friday. But if Gross Catholic is able to knock off Skutt tomorrow in that first game at 10 a.m., there will be that if necessary game to follow. And the same kind of goes for that 4 p.m. slot. If the top seed is able to win, there will be no 7 o'clock game, but if that lower seed is able to win and come back from the elimination bracket to force that if necessary game, there will be a 7 o'clock first pitch. So we know for sure the games are at 10 and 4 tomorrow. That'll be those 2 for sure broadcasts here on the station. We'll have Class A action only tomorrow. And then the 3 state championship games on Friday. So the schedule for those 3 state title games on Friday, 12 o'clock is the Class C state championship game. We'll have that. Those games have been going on all week, obviously, at Fricky Field, the home of the Papillion La Vista Monarchs. So that's been going on. And then Class B state championship is at 3:30 p.m. on Friday. And then 7 p.m., we will start the Class A state championship game. 3 balls, 1 strike here to Cale Biggsberger, who is the 8-hole hitter in this Gross Catholic lineup. Standing on second after a wild pitch is Vinny Cortinas. The 3-1 offering from Fairbairn. Biggsberger squares to bunt, pops it up and foul, and it'll be full, 3-2. So far, this game time, 2 hours and 12 minutes long to play 6 innings and some change. We've seen a total of 15 runs here this morning. Here's the pitch on 3-2. Up and away, ball 4. Fairbairn walks him, and now Gross Catholic has runners at first and second with nobody out here in the top of the 7th inning. That'll now bring Brandon Hempel, to the plate. So Hempel, he was actually pinch hit for in his last at bat. Kyle Rempe was the pinch hitter, but now Hempel did re-enter. And so Hempel is going to stand into that right-handed batter's box. Runner on first and second for Gross Catholic. 11-4, the Cougars lead the Gretna East Griffins. Squaring to bunt, and it's going to be foul down the right field line, and it will be 0-1 to Brandon Hempel. When we started today's game, it said it was 48 degrees and it felt like 41. Right now, it says it is 51 degrees here at the ballpark and it feels like 45. So it hasn't gotten much warmer. The sun tried to peek out in between some clouds in the middle innings, but to no avail, as it is 100% cloud cover. No balls and 2 strikes here to Brandon Hempel. Bunt sign is still on as he squares, pulls it back, takes a called ball, 1-2. 11-4, Gross Catholic on top of Gretna East. And a game that, for Gretna East, struggling to find pitchers to throw strikes. Your starter, Colton Kuhl, only got through an inning and a third. Here's the pitch. Hempel takes a call. Strike 3 over the inner part of the zone. Tough day for Hempel as it continues. That's his second strikeout of the day. And runners are still at first and second with just 1 out. So a backwards K, big job there by Fairbairn on the mound. I'm talking about Mason Fairbairn, the senior pitcher, as the lineup turns over and Robbie Brennan steps up to the plate. Robbie walked his last time up in that 5th inning. He was stranded on third in that 5-run 5th for Gross Catholic. He swings and misses at the first pitch, 0-1. So stick around. In between this game and our next game, we will send it back to our 93.7 The Ticket studios. Rudy, DP, the rest of the crew, all hanging out back there. Appreciate them. As the 0-1 offering is swung on and missed by Robbie Brennan again, and he's quickly down in the count, 0-2. 1 out in the top of the 7th inning. 11-4, your score. On a day where I saw Michigan State and Purdue are starting in the Big Ten tournament, Jake Bachhoven is out there covering things for us at Charles Schwab Field. Rudy, I know, is heading out there this evening to cover the Big Ten baseball tournament. 1 ball, 2 strikes, 1 out here in the top of the 7th inning. Fairbairn, the left-handed thrower, against the righty bat of Robbie Brennan. Runners are at first and second for Gross Catholic. Here as he kicks and fires. And it's low and away for a ball, 2-2. So the game that will follow, we might get started a little beyond the 1 o'clock designated time. Normally, 3 hours is plenty of time to get a ball game in. But the grounds crew will get to going at cleaning up and getting the field ready to go for our next game. As the 2-2 offering, runner goes from second. It's a ground ball to the second baseman. Fielded. They're going to send the runner from third to home, and he's going to score. How about that? Number 42, Anthony Bogdanovich, was the courtesy runner for Cortinas at second. They were off with the pitch. It was a fairly routine ground ball to second base. Coach Hempel in that third base coaching box waving Bogdanovich around third, and Gross Catholic adds another one as they go 180 feet on a routine ground ball to make it a 12-4 game. With 2 outs now in the top of the 7th inning, runner at second, and stepping in, Mikey Behar. Behar, he singled with an RBI his last time up. So I didn't expect to write RBI ground out on that fairly routine play there off the bat of Robbie Brennan, but I end up doing it. 1 ball, no strikes to Behar, and now it's even at 1-1. So Cale Bigsberger is the runner at second. One ball, 1 strike, 2 outs here in the top of the 7th inning. Slide step and the fastball on the inside part of the corner. It is 1-2. So 1 ball, 2 strikes, 2 outs here in the top of the 7th. 12-4. Gross Catholic will be 3 outs away from punching their ticket to a date with Scott Catholic. Here's the 1-2. Runner steals, and it's fouled off to the net. We'll do it again at 1-2. Up 8 runs, Gross Catholic not slowing things down. They are foot on the gas pedal. 1 ball, 2 strikes, 2 outs. It's 12-4. The runner at second is Bigsberger. The batter is Mikey Behar. Left-handed pitcher, right-handed batter. Here's the pitch. Swung on, and it's popped up. Shallow, right center field. The right fielder moving back, and he hauls it in for out number 3. We go to the bottom of the 7th inning after Gross Catholic adds 1 more in the top of the frame. They now lead at 12-4 over the Gretna East Griffins here on 93.7 The Ticket.
If you're a homeowner or a business owner, you have a lot of projects, and no one has an unlimited budget or time. Sunbelt Rentals makes all jobs less stressful with no need to purchase large equipment or hire a crew. You can do it yourself with rentals and everything from aerators and power rakes for spring yard work to stump grinders, concrete mixers, tile saws, and more. Check out their inventory in Lincoln, north of Cornhusker Highway on 56th Street, or online at sunbeltrentals.com.
Imagine if the people who work at your bank or neighbors who could help with a home loan.
Congratulations. You're approved.
Or friends who love to shop local.
Have a good one.
At UBT, who you work with matters just as much as what you're working toward.
Hey, thanks for helping.
That's why your money has more than a banker. It has people. Union Bank and Trust. Member FDIC.
Spring sports are here and it's time to upgrade your equipment. But don't go rushing to your big box store. Play It Again Sports is your place to go for all spring sports equipment for baseball, softball, golf, and disc golf. Play It Again Sports has quality, slightly to gently used equipment, and 50% of their inventory is actually new equipment. And don't forget, buying from them is a great way to get new products with great discounts by also bringing in your used items for store credit or cash on the spot. Play It Again Sports at 48th and Vine.
Back to more of the Class B State Baseball Tournament on 93.7 The Ticket.
Last chance for the Gretna East Griffins here in the home half of the 7th inning, as it will be Colton Silman, 9-1 and 2 hitters, to face Cooper Capisi as the first pitch of the inning. Grounded to the second baseman, over to first in time for out number 1. And now Gross Catholic, 2 outs away from advancing and staying alive in this elimination game. Kaysen Brown. Kaysen, a senior infielder, came into the state tournament hitting .392. And what could potentially be his last high school at-bat. Hits from the right side. And the first pitch of the at-bat is in there for a called strike, 0-1. Kaysen Brown going to continue his college baseball, or his baseball career in college, I should say, at Iowa Central Community College. This one, a soft chopper to the second baseman, fielded cleanly, and with 3 pitches and 2 outs here for Cooper Capisi. My goodness, what a response after that. 4 runs he surrendered in the first inning. A great job by Cooper Capisi settling in. 4-3 on the ground out for out number 2. And now that brings up Carson Herman. Herman is a senior who is doing the catching today. Hits in the number 2 spot for Gretna East. He's going to play baseball at Cloud County Community College. And he takes ball 1, 1-0. 1 ball, no strikes. The pitch, Capisi forces him to line this one to the right side, and it's off the bat of Herman for a 2-out single. Carson Herman, nice job there, keeping the inning alive. We've seen some rare things. Now, it would go into the list of extremely rare if Gretna East is able to score 8 runs with only 1 out to work with. But I'm not going to say it can't happen because you never know. That brings up Kobe Modrell, the designated hitter. Kobe Modrell, senior, hitting .313 this season. As Herman leads off of first. And here, this might do it. Modrell, a high pop-up. The first baseman, Villamonte, over. He hauls it in for out number 3. And Gross Catholic stays alive. They eliminate the defending Class B state champions for the second time since Saturday. They are able to knock off the Gretna East Griffins 12-4 in a rematch of an opening round game that saw Gross Catholic take round 1 here at Warner Park. The Cougars of Gross Catholic also take round 2. They win it by 8 runs, 12-4 over the Gretna East Griffins. We'll step aside, come back, put a bow on it here on 93.7 The Ticket.
If you've been looking for a reason to fill up your car with E15, how about this? E15
can help you save big at the pump.
And save the planet by cutting greenhouse gas emissions.
Any car 2001 or newer is approved. Speaking of good, it's made from corn, which is great for farmers.
As I was saying, if you need a reason to choose E15, there you have them. E15, engine smart, earth kind. Visit chooseE15.com to learn more.
At Raising Cane's, we focus on making the most craveable chicken finger meals, getting them right every time. That's why we hand batter every chicken finger, mix every cane sauce, butter every Texas toast, stir every slaw, salt every fry, squeeze every lemon, and brew every ounce. We do this inside every Raising Cane's, every day. Because when you do it right, you can taste it in every bite. Raising Cane's chicken fingers, one love.
Back to more of the Class B State Baseball Tournament on 93.7 The Ticket.
12-4, your final here at Warner Park. We'll get out of here quickly and hand things over to Adam Carricker here, back in our 93.7 The Ticket studios. Gross Catholic wins it 12-4 over the Gretna East Griffins. 12 runs on 11 hits, and 4 errors that were committed by Gross Catholic do not come back to bite them, as Gretna East 4 runs on 7 hits, and they committed 2 errors themselves. A really impressive performance, especially in the last 6 innings of that game by Cooper Capisi. He surrendered 4 runs in the bottom of the first. At one point, Gretna East led this game 4-3, but then 6 consecutive zeros put up on the board by the Gross Catholic right-handed pitcher, Cooper Capisi. A nice job there by him. For Gretna East, just a disappointing day all over the ball field, as they struggled to get any sort of offense going after they responded to 3 runs that Gross put up in the top of the first. They responded with those 4 in the bottom of the first inning, but after that, really struggled to get anything going. They missed a big opportunity when they had 2 runners on, second and third, with 1 out in the bottom of the fourth, when they were still down by just 2 runs. They came up empty in that one, in that situation, and then in the next half inning, they surrendered 5 runs in the top of the 5th, and that was kind of where the game was settled. But that'll do it for us for now. From Warner Park, Gross Catholic will play Skutt Catholic in an elimination game. For Gross, they will have to beat the Skutt Catholic Skyhawks 2 times at Tally Anderson Field tomorrow morning at 10 a.m. And now we prepare for our second Class B elimination game of the day between the Seward Blue Jays and Platte Valley. Those 2 teams will play, I would guess, just a few minutes before 1:15 p.m., but they are already on the field and getting this thing prepared and manicured for our next game before we turn our attention back to the Class A bracket this afternoon. Austin Orman will join me for Game 2 of the day, but Nick Sainert now saying so long from Warner Park. Your final score, Gross Catholic 12, the Gretna East Griffins 4, in our first of 2 Class B elimination games from the state baseball tournament on 93.7 The Ticket.
When you or someone you know has been seriously injured and you find yourself in need of an attorney, call Liberty Law Group. The attorneys at Liberty Law Group will fight for the justice you deserve in court to get the very best possible outcome. Trust the compassionate and hardworking attorneys at Liberty Law Group when you need an attorney in Nebraska or Iowa. Call them today at 877-404-5238. That's 877-404-5238.